Obviously not great to lose, but if you're learning from it, then maybe it's worth it at the end.
Yeah, it's always worth it. They say when you lose, don't lose the lesson. What was one of the biggest things, you as a coach learned this week about your team?
That we never gave up. Again, you sort of know that with the experience with the seniors, but we haven't been put in that situation this year, so sort of seeing how they rebound and react. And we were down in that game with sort of 2 minutes left, and our kids were still playing hard and still knowing that, hey, this game isn't over until the game is over, that last whistle blows. And they proved that, yes, even though it was a tight game, they play right till the last whistle. So knowing that they have that in them, and that's going to really teach us a lesson as we go.
It's good to have resiliency in a tough loss situation there. But moving into this week, Coach, like we talked about, it's Newburgh. They're always a tough opponent. They themselves, they're 4-1 on the season this year. So, they're always somebody you have to look out for when it comes to Section 9 supremacy. And last year, it was the unfortunate tough loss there on the road to Newburgh. Jojo Royale, he really had a tough game. How did he look having his first real opposition of the season, this week in practice? And how do you feel he's going to bounce back?
I think we sort of are going to be trying some different things this week. Newburgh's defense is tough, so we're going to try to attack them a couple of different ways. So we've sort of loosened the reins a little bit on JoJo, and I think that it should be fun to watch. In practice, I know he learned a lot of lessons this week. Also going through that game and sort of throwing the 3 picks, he was very down on himself, obviously as an 8th grader going through that. But at the end of the day, it was a team sport, so we all got behind him, and we just move on. Like I said, Monday comes around, and we're just going to Newburgh now.
Coach, we talk about rivalries all the time. Monroe-Woodbury is one. And, we always talk about what it means, the big rivalry with the Port Jervis. We had the victory in bringing the bell back earlier this year. But when it comes to something a little higher stakes, what it means in the divisional standings, where do you place this rivalry with Newburgh on your list?
To tell you the truth, when I got here 17 years ago, Newburgh sort of ran the show. They've had good coaches and good players ever since. So the rivalry was tough because you sort of come into the game thinking like, oh man, now we got Newburgh and this and that. And you sort of what Coach Ormsby used to say, some teams get Newburghitis. And you sort of get nervous about going into playing them, especially in Newburgh. But I think over the last couple of years, our guys have done a good job of just taking it as if it were another game. Obviously, the stakes are always high because Newburgh, they're usually one of the best teams in a section. And to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Right.
And Coach Bianco does a really good job, and all their assistant coaches. They got a great program over there. And it's not just a 1-year team or 2-year team like you mentioned earlier. They got a program. So every year they just reload, and you got to find ways to beat them. They're tough offense, they're tough defense, tough special teams, and you got to make less mistakes than them and play a great game.
Coach, I'll get you out of here on a lighter note too. This community, we travel well, and even in the rain, we saw a lot of the what we call Fowler faithful out there in Monroe-Woodbury. They came and they supported their team. They have all year. We've had quite a bit of rain to start the season there at most of our games. Coach, what does it mean to you when you see a tough road game like Newburgh and you see all of those fans over there, guys who played before and the families coming out to a place like Newburgh?
Weirdly enough, especially on like a Friday night, we played Valley Central again at the end of the year, but this is our first Friday night game. We're in week 5 already. So you look at it and you're thinking to yourself, all right, well, hey, listen, these guys wanted a Friday night game. Well, now you got it. All eyes are going to be on us in Newburgh. I think probably the game of the week. And a lot of people obviously are expected Newburgh to win since last week we lost to Monroe. So having all of those people with us and come and cheering for us, and it's nice listening to my wife sitting in the stands last week. She said, Tim, the difference this year with all the fans and everything is the fans never gave up, and they were always behind us, and they were cheering all the time, and they said, you know what, the game's not over, the game's not over, the game's not over. So for her to tell me that and to hear that, it's just great how they all show up for not just their kids or their friends' kids, but for the Middletown program itself. And I think that's coming a long way. I just left the JV game, and there was a ton of people cheering for Middletown at the JV game. So it's a great following, and it's nice to see that people are really getting back into Middletown football.
Well, Coach, it's great to have an excellent program led by a great coach in yourself, and that brings so many people out. And I mean it, Coach. Well, thank you for joining us again, and you heard it, guys. Come on down, come up 84. We're going east this time. It's going to be a road game. Newburgh, 6 o'clock. The big rivalry continues this week for Section 9 supremacy. Here with Coach Strenfield. Thank you, Coach, for joining us again.
Thank you, DJ. I appreciate the time.
And that was Middy Bears head coach Tim Strenfield joining us for our countdown to kickoff interview. Thank you again, Coach. We are just under 10 minutes to go. It looks like the Newburgh Goldbacks are going to come running out of the tunnel. Today there's a lot of pomp and circumstance going on, It is homecoming day, and it is also pink game day. It is the day where a lot of the Goldback faithful have come out from the Newburgh community. They are wearing their pink shirts. They are wearing pink socks, headbands, bows, whatever they can to represent a great cause for many people. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it is time for Ethan McElroy, our countdown to kickoff, keys to the game. We're going to talk about this great matchup. Today is going to be like a playoff atmosphere. I'm telling you, can't wait for this game. 3-1 Middletown versus 4-0 Newburgh. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
So, Benjamin, what seems to be the problem?
I need you to unhinge my jaw.
I'm sorry, uncinch your bra?
No, I need you to unhinge my jaw.
He had one of those deliciously huge deli sandwiches from Shortstop Deli on East Main Street in Middletown.
Oh, unhinge your jaw. Got it, okay. Those are tasty.
Got a huge hunger? You need Shortstop Deli, open every day, 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. Everything is served fast and fresh by Russ and the gang. Shortstop Deli, Shutt Road and East Main in Middletown.
Ready to buy your Hudson Valley dream home? Now you can achieve your dream and enjoy a great rate from Rhinebeck Bank. Summer is the best time to get moving with a great Rhinebeck Bank mortgage and then get moving into your perfect place. No hoops to jump through, no kidding. Apply today and start your house hunting. Just go to rhinebeckbank.com/mortgage and get started. It's that easy. Rhinebeck Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS number 477976. Your home, your dream, your bank. Rhinebeck Bank.
Serving Ulster, Dutchess, and Orange counties. This is the Hudson Valley's hometown station. WALL, Middletown, New York, USA. This is Middletown High School football on Wall Radio.
Back here to our countdown to kickoff. We are under 10 minutes to go here on the road in Newburgh. Before we get kicked off for your Middies, taking on the Newburgh Goldbacks. You know what this game means. It's like a playoff game today. Huge implications. 3-1 Middies versus the 4-0 undefeated class of the division, Newburgh Goldbacks. DJ McPherson. Here we're going to bring in our guy. He was a Port Jervis standout, and he's here with us today. You know him from WDLC, covering Port Jervis games with our guy, Kevin Halpenny and Tom Faggione. Ethan McElroy. Ethan, thank you for joining us today.
It's great to be here, DJ. I mean, coming up here, up to Newburgh to watch these two AA teams, I mean, it's going to be electric up here. I mean, these two teams playing each other, every time they play each other, it's something awesome to watch. Even being a Port kid, I mean, I would love listening and just watching these games because it's the competition up here in AA is just so much better with all these kids. And it's so cool watching all these kids go up against each other.
It is great to watch such amazing competition from these schools, especially we talk about the class of this division, Newburgh Goldbacks. I mentioned before, we were talking about it before we came on air. It's like Deontay Johnson and so many other names from this program that have gone on to do well in 1A football, playing big boy football in power conferences. So that's always amazing to see coming from these schools.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a kid like Johnson coming from Newburgh last year, I mean, he's one of those kids he's one of the generation talent you're going to find here. I mean, I remember looking up at him as a senior, and he was a sophomore, thinking,
right.
I'm like, I'm older than you, kid? I'm like, gosh. Right. I'm like, wow, this is insane. But the kids that these schools produce, I mean, it's unheard of compared like down in the even A schools, B schools. I mean, you don't see this type of talent in these A and B schools. You don't.
No, and it's fun to be able, and it's a privilege for myself to be able week to week to call these games. Ethan, let's talk about a team you're familiar with. Like I said before, you were a standout Port Jervis player, so you're very familiar with our home squad, the Middletown Midi Bears. Started off this season 3-0. Unfortunately, we saw one of those wins against your guys when we came down to Port, got the bell back. But last week, a tough loss to Monroe Woodbury. You know, the game started with a lot of penalties. There were 3 unfortunate interceptions there by our young quarterback, JoJo Royale. Let's talk about what the Middies have to do today, coming into this big game, what they have to clean up to stay focused and get a win out here.
Yeah, definitely one thing I would say is they have to forget about last week. You know, playing such a great team and playing such a great game and then losing like in that fashion. It's terrible, and it's a heartbreak. It's something that's going to hurt a kid in high school. You know, it's something that's going to stick with a kid in high school for a while, because especially when Monroe Woodbury, also another AA school in their conference, you know, that's a team you have to beat right there, because that's what does with playoffs, that's what seeding is, and that's everything right there. So that's going to stick with you, but Middletown needs to forget about that. I know I saw they threw an interception, literally one of the last plays of the game. That was to seal it for Monroe. You know, JoJo, he's a young quarterback. He doesn't have those, he doesn't have the skills and the mental toughness yet to actually be put in those situations and everyone be confident in him the whole time. You know, it's like a 50-50 with him. You know, it's like you send him out there, it's like, you know what, this kid is a very good football player, but he's an 8th grader. You have to take that with a grain of salt. You can't be there sitting there like, oh well, this kid's great. He played amazing against Port. He played amazing against all these other schools. He's going to come out here and do amazing against Monroe. You can't think that. You can't, because he's still an 8th grader. His stats may show that he's one of the best quarterbacks in the section, yes, but he's still an 8th grader, and he still has not developed the junior quarterback for Newburgh. You know, he hasn't been playing for so long, so it's hard for them to really have a full game plan with their quarterback, but it's looking really good for Middletown. I mean, this is one of the Middletown teams, probably one of the best I've seen in a year, and I love watching them.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And you talked about number 10, Mason Hoover, the starting quarterback, a guy who developed in this program. He started last year, even as a sophomore. We're ready to see and excited about his junior year here, his junior season with NFA. But, you know, about JoJo Royale, speaking with Coach earlier in the season, you know, he talked about his development now, and you're absolutely right. He is an 8th grader, but this team, they back him. They support him. They love their quarterback, and he loves them right back. It's great camaraderie. And I'll tell you what, Coach talked about, he could be a 5-year starter for this team. But before we get more into that, we have about 3 minutes to go before we get started on this game. We're going to take another quick break. We're going to honor our nation with the playing of our national anthem here. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Halloween, Christmas, New Year's. As we enter the holiday and celebration season, ADAC and Orange County Stop DWI want to remind you that Orange County's social host law prohibits any adult 18 years of age or older from serving alcohol, cannabis, or other illicit substances on a property that they are in charge of. Not only is it illegal, but it's also unsafe and unhealthy to knowingly serve young people. Parents who host lose the most. For more information, visit adacinfo.com.
Mid-City Transit is a proud supporter of the Middletown High School football team. And right now, they're looking for drivers to join their team. To apply today, visit midcitytransit.com. Since 1935, Mid-City Transit has been transporting the children of the Middletown School District, always committed to providing those children with a safe and reliable bus service. Mid-City Transit is also available for charters, wedding shuttles, family reunions, and trips. Everyone at Mid-City Transit wishes the Middletown High School football team good luck this season. Go Middies.
Hello there, Joe Daly here, inviting you to start your weekend mornings with me. We'll have all the latest news, Mike Spiel's forecast from the Weather Tower, Charlie North with Charlie's Chuckles, the Trivia Challenge, weekend happenings, and of course, the Hudson Valley's greatest hits. Join me every Saturday and Sunday morning from 8 until 12 noon, right here on the weekend morning show that sleeps in on the Hudson Valley's hometown station.
This is Middletown High School football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio, and as you were at our commercial break, We just had a beautiful rendition here from the chorus here at Newburgh High School, NFA, Newburgh Free Academy. Beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. They have the junior ROTC out on the field presenting the state and country flag colors. It's just been a bit of a fanfare today. As I mentioned before, today is homecoming day as we honored all of the seniors. Their families are here. Everyone is also wearing pink. It's their pink game day. So we are in salute to breast cancer survivors and those going through it. And we here at Wall Radio would like to salute you as well. And a shout out to NFA for doing this great program. You see a lot of the pink on the young players out on the field. Maybe some of them even have family members that have been affected by this. And it's a great thing to bond the community over an amazing cause. And back to this game as the seniors are now out at center field, at midfield, and shaking hands, getting a coin toss. We're going to see who's going to get the ball first. Let's talk about today. You know, you talked about having poise for young JoJo Royale. It's definitely going to be needed in this game. Like I said, Middletown 3-1. They're coming into the undefeated Newburgh Goldbacks. You know, going ahead, Ethan, the Middletown schedule gets a little more lax. You know, then they're playing Wallkill, Washingtonville, teams that maybe don't match them equally with talent. Teams that look on paper, you can never second guess your opponent, but teams that look on paper like they might be easier for Middletown. So with that schedule, with the loss last week to Monroe Woodbury, what does it mean today to leave here on the road with a win? Well, I mean, it's like I said before, this is a AA school matchup, and this right here is you're playing for playoffs here. You're not playing just to play anymore. Now this is like, okay, if you want to win the section championship, you want to get to those sections, you have to win this football game. Yes, I understand coming up, Middletown does have, as it looks on paper, a weaker schedule as what they have now, but some of those games don't matter towards how they are seated in AA. Absolutely. So that's what Middletown needs to worry about. They need to worry about getting a win for that AA, getting them above, because like I said, losing to Monroe last week, a AA school, that does damage what they want. And I know this Middletown team is good enough to win a section championship. I mean, I watched them play, and it's very apparent if anyone would come watch them play that they are a Section 9 championship team. Absolutely. So Middletown, they need to come out, and they need to come out firing. I mean, if they don't come out firing, they're going to get smacked in the face, and it's not going to look good for them. I mean, Newburgh 4-0, they have all the momentum in the world right now. They have literally more momentum than I think any team in the state. And it looks like Newburgh has elected to receive the ball, so we're going to see that offense come out first with Mason Hoover, and it looks like Bruce Montgomery is back to get this kickoff. So let's see exactly how the Middies want to come out. Like you said, they have to come out firing. So it looks like they're going to have to come out firing on defense first. And I like this because they get the ball back in the second half. And for a game that could go either way, big booming kick by Twiggy. That ball is going to be down at the 15, and it's going to be up by Montgomery. Montgomery takes it to the 25. There's laundry on the field. Let's see exactly what this call is. Already a flag on the opening kickoff. Yeah, first play, man. I mean, let's hope it's not like this all day, because I mean, that with these two great teams, I mean, you want to watch these kids play. You don't want to watch these kids play the refs. So let's play some clean football, and let's play some great football tonight. As the referees are out on the field deliberating, we have Lou River Ifso and Troy Van Buren today, our referees. And it looks like that is a personal foul penalty, a holding call going against Newburgh, and that's going to bring them back. Their starting position officially was on the 28-yard line, and let's see where they're going to position the ball to start. Well, already the penalties are in favor this week to start the game for the Middy Bears. Ball is going to be placed on the 18-yard line. That is a 10-yard penalty, the holding. And Middletown has favorable defensive position, getting them behind the 20 to start. First drive of the game. This week, the Middies are on the road wearing all white pants, white jerseys. They, too, are in support of the Pink Day game, and they have pink accents on. You see pink towels and pink socks. The white jerseys have the Middy blue numbers. and they are wrapped around in black. Here comes the offense. 1st and 10. Ball is on the 18. As we start the Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating first quarter. It's Hoover. He's going to turn around and hand it off. Hand off to Tajir Walker. Walker picks up about 3 yards on the. Walker picks up 3 to 4. Excuse me, it's going to be 4 yards.
Like 4 yards. Yeah, that was a great read right there by Walker. You know, he sat in that backfield just for a second, just to see which way his offensive line developed on that right side, and he saw that hole and he hit it very well. I mean, averaging 4 yards a carry. I mean, that's a first down every 3 plays. You know.
Ball was originally placed, on the 14-yard line. So that's going to bring them to about the 18. It's going to be 2nd and 6 there. Hoover going to turn around and just hand it off. Again, it's Tajir Walker. Walker only getting about 2 yards on this play. And it looks like they are going to try to execute the ground and pound and try to run the clock down and see what they can do in the run game at first, Ethan.
Definitely. As a team like Newburgh, I mean, they look like they have some very big guys up front. So, I mean, if you can start moving this ball and you can start averaging 4 or 5 yards a carry, I mean, you're not going to need to pass the ball at all. I mean, you're going to – once you win a run game in a football game, it's almost over. You know, it's very hard for a defense to stop the run and while trying to see if they can stop the pass too.
Absolutely. Mason Hoover, this time he is in shotgun, has 3 wide receivers, 2 here to the near sideline. Hoover is going to throw it. He got a short pass, gets the first down, and that's going to move the chains for the Goldbacks.
Yeah, that was just a simple little tight end out right there. It's nothing too complicated, nothing too crazy. I mean, it's just something that's read the quarterback must make. I mean, it's either he's going to read it, give the ball to the running back right there, or continue to dump it off, and it was a smart play right there by number 10. I mean, he's as a junior quarterback, you know, you don't have all 4 years of high school to under your belt, but you still have those 3 years, maybe possibly 2 playing JV, or
right.
I think 1 playing JV, played JV 2 years ago, and he was a starter last year for Newburgh, right? Number 10?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, exactly.
Mason Hoover was the starter last year. Hoover completing that pass to the tight end. It was Christopher Leggett with a new set of downs. 1st and 10 for Newburgh. Ball's at the 27-yard line in the shotgun, and there's a whistle, and it looks like there was a pre-snap timeout there right before the ball was snapped, or we ran out of time there by the Newburgh Goldbacks. 10:29 here in the opening quarter. Brought to you by Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating. Middletown looking to take a tough road game here on the road in Newburgh. You know, Ethan, we talk about hostile environments. You know, you've played, of course, in a big game against Middletown. Talk about the environment, whether it's playoff or bell game or what have you, just being in a place on the road like here.
Oh, I mean, it's at this compound right here. I mean, it's beautiful. It's set up for the home team to have the home field advantage.
Absolutely.
And it's awesome. I mean, as you come here as an away team and you're like, you know what, I want to spoil this homecoming so bad. I want to make it the worst night of the Goldbacks' lives. So, I mean, as you're doing, and when you come up here, I mean, I always play with a fire because you never know when your last down's going to be, and that's how these kids should be playing too. You know, they need to know if they have the like what they. I don't even know how to put it. I mean, it's hard to say. You know, it's very different for all different types of people.
Absolutely. Here we go. 1st and 10. Ball on the 27. And they're going to run it again. This time it's right up the middle. And it's our guy, Tajir Walker, number 4. And he's got a first down. That was a gain of 11 yards. Great ground and pound there by the Goldbacks. Mason Hoover just using the running backs. Mason Hoover just using his running backs, and they are doing all they can to control the clock and this game early on.
Yeah, I mean, he's using just a smart technique right now. I mean, he's going from running from pass to run. It's really confusing this Middletown defense, and it's not letting them get their adjustments up.
Here's Hoover in the shotgun. Again, hands it off to number 4, and number 4 getting some push there, even against this daunting Middletown defensive line there, led by Stephen Moncherry, and he gets a 4-yard gain. Great job there by Tajir Walker, just pounding through, getting to the second level. It's going to be 2nd and 6 here for the Goldbacks. Ball's going to be placed on the 42-yard line.
Yeah, you know, that was a great run. I mean, he was stopped probably with a gain of 2, and then just keeping his legs moving, he got himself an extra 2-3 yards. I mean, that's just perfect what you want from your starting running back.
It's all about great coaching and technique. Just churn the legs. You know you know what they're doing, Ethan. Mason Hoover, he's in the shotgun, keeping 3 wide receivers, working to the left, and it's Tajir Walker. Walker coming to the outside, gets close to a first down. No, it's only a 5-yard gain that's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Newburgh Goldbacks. Ball is going to be placed down at the 47-yard line. 8:50 to go here in the first quarter, brought to you by Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating. And let me just take a quick minute to remind everybody we have Kate Brennan in the morning on Hudson Valley's hometown station here at Wall Radio. You can listen on wallradio.com. Here we go. 3rd and short here for the Goldbacks. 8:30 to go. Opening quarter of a pivotal game here for the Middy Bears. Mason Hoover, he's in shotgun. Again, it's another handoff, not to Walker. This time it's going to go to number 2. It's Montgomery in the backfield. And Montgomery picks up the first down on a 4-yard gain.
I mean, this watching these two teams play, DJ, I mean, it's so much more fast-paced and so much more upbeat and energetic. I mean, like, these kids have the chance to make or break a play at any moment.
Absolutely.
I mean, as one of these kids gets an edge, he's gone. I mean, it's awesome to see the athletes that these schools have, these bigger schools. I mean, it's so fun to watch.
It's Hoover again in the shotgun, hands it off to Montgomery. Montgomery pushes through, gets about a 3-yard gain. It looked like they were, and the ref is signaling. I don't know if he caught that signal there. I don't see a flag on the field there.
I don't know what that was.
Well, it looks like no deliberations needed there by referee Lou Riveroso, if so, and Troy Van Buren. So we're just going to pick up and keep on going. Going to be 2nd and 7. Ball is placed now. They are in Middletown territory. They have passed midfield. It's at the 47-yard line now on the other side. 7:19 to go on the clock. They're matriculating the ball downfield, not trying to do any big plays. Man in motion for Hoover. Hoover's, of course, going to turn around and just hand the ball off to Tajir Walker, trying to make some moves to the outside, and he's brought down after a short gain. Ball's going to be on about the 40-yard line. And that was a bigger gain than we thought. That was a gain of about 5. It's going to be 3rd and 4.
You saw on that play, Hoover, he motioned over his tight end on that play. I mean,
yes.
Motioning over that tight end, just that one man sets up that whole left side and makes it so much easier to run the play. I mean, it's insane watching how quickly a play can develop with just one person.
Chris Leggett, the man in motion there. Hoover hands it off again to Tajir Walker. Tajir Walker takes a pop, but keeps on going. Gets close to a first down. Let's see exactly where it is. Ball is placed on the 39-yard line. But that is an unofficial
close
mark. Let's see if they're going to move the chains for the Goldbacks.
It looks like they are.
And it looks like they are, absolutely. That's another first down here for the Newburgh Goldbacks. Ball's going to be on the 38-yard line. 6:09 on a clock that is winding here in the first quarter, brought to you by Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating. And I like this game plan by Newburgh so far. They've already taken up half the time in the opening quarter. It's Hoover going to turn around again. Montgomery gets to the second level and gets a first down. Montgomery. Wow, big run of 11 yards for Bruce Montgomery. Another first down, back-to-back for the Goldbacks.
I'm telling you, man, these kids, they're athletes. As soon as they hit this second level, they make one cut and they're gone.
Absolutely.
It is so quick for this game to get out of hand for Middletown. And they need to hone in their defense right here. Their defense is getting ran all over. I think they've thrown the ball once, right? That was that one screen pass to the right.
Pass to their tight end.
Just straight run. Middletown, Wildcat.
And we have Wildcat, and that's our guy, Tajir Walker. Tajir Walker takes it, but it's a short gain. Quickly brought down by the line of Middletown there. That was Randy Fernandez on the tackle. And it's only about a 2-yard gain there for Tajir Walker. Looks like the ball is going to be placed down on the 26-yard line. They say it's a 2-yard gain. I don't see if
I think they called. I think it was a hold.
Yeah, there was a hold on the outside. There was no official flag on. Did you see a flag out here, Ethan?
I didn't.
Was that?
I didn't.
I did not see a flag either.
Play, they just started blowing their whistles like crazy, and
Well, it is an official hold call, even though there was no flag to give us any indications of a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, it's
we'll see what Troy Van Buren has to say about that a little later. But we're back to the action. Again, they are in shotgun. No, it's Mason Hoover. Tightly next to him is Tajir Walker. And Hoover's going to throw it to the left. He's going way downfield.
Wow.
And it is picked off. It is picked off, but wait, it might have hit the ground. Oh, close call there for the Middletown defender. It looks like Hoover underthrew it just a little bit, and Middletown had to come back. That was still a great heads-up play by Calvin Perez. Excellent job by that Middies defense.
I was going to say, I mean, when he threw that ball, it looks like he didn't really put his all into that ball right there. It came out a little wobbly, and that receiver the receiver thought it was going to be a bullet, a bomb.
Right.
So he didn't even look back for the ball until he figured when he was cleared enough from the corner, and that was a great play by the corner right there. I mean, in my eyes, it looked like he caught the ball. I mean, I wouldn't.
It kind of came through. He could just catch it at the end, but I just have to make a correction. I said Calvin Perez. That was all Ramon Alexander on a great play there. Ramon spotting the ball, coming back. Unfortunately, it did not get the interception, but it's incomplete, and it's a 2nd and 20 here for the Newburgh Goldbacks at home. 4:35 on the clock. It stopped. It's Hoover. He's going to hand it off to Tajir Walker. Walker going to the outside. And he gets quickly wrapped up after only a 3-yard gain. But, man, who had him first there? That was Jared Howell who had him on the outside. He stayed at home, just couldn't get him. But Walker only picked up 2 yards. It's going to be 3rd and long here for Newburgh.
Yeah, that was Kyle Scott coming down from I don't know what position. He was playing the I think corner or either safety position. I think he was playing the safety position. To come down from the safety position right there, I mean, that's a heads-up play. I mean, seeing that that ball is getting kicked out so far right that you can abandon your post a little bit and just go up for the ball. It's a great play.
Mason Hoover talking with Bianco on the sideline, getting the call. It's 3:45 to go. The clock is winding, 3rd and long. They're going to hand it off to Tajir Walker. Tajir Walker breaks free. He gets to the 2nd level and some. Gets close to a 1st down. Let's see where they officially mark it. He is inside the 20-yard line. Great run by Tajir Walker. It looks like they're going to mark it at the 17, but will they move the chains? And yes, they do. That's a 1st down for the Goldbacks.
That was such a smart play by the head coach right there. I mean, it was probably like a 3rd and 16, 3rd and 17, and he spread out his entire wide receiving corps.
Absolutely.
He let everyone get out wide, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to give the ball to my running back. And it was a perfect play. The Strenfield thought that they were going to pass the ball right there. He probably told them, dropped them back, and they ran the ball. I mean, that's something you don't expect.
And now we have some laundry out on the field. I'll tell you what, Lou River-Ifso and Troy Van Buren have been very busy today. Let's see what the official call is, and this one looks like it's against Middletown.
They're bringing water out. It looks like timeout.
It's a time. It's a timeout, but there is still a flag. There's still a flag before the timeout. So let's see what the call is here. There's a lot of confusion going on down on the field. 3:20 to go here. Still 0-0 here at NFA. The Middies on the road in the 1st quarter. It's been all Newburgh because Newburgh has literally had the ball for about 9 minutes here.
I mean, this is just great clock control right now by the Newburgh team. I mean, this is being able to. I mean, you have the weapons. I mean, you can do stuff like this. I mean, you can sit back on a 3rd and 17 and run a draw. I mean, it's crazy to see. Like you don't see that run ever. I mean, no coach is going to run a draw on 3rd and 16 unless you know that you have the players that can make up for it.
Now that penalty, Ethan, was on the Middies. It's going to put the ball at the 8-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and goal here, and this time it's going to be Hoover tries to keep it himself. Hoover on the keeper. Does he get the 1st down? It's a loss of 1. So it's still 2nd and goal here. Ball is going to be now on the 9-yard line. Excellent job there by the Middies defense, doing what they can to keep them out of the end zone. 2:50 to go. The clock is winding in the 1st quarter, brought to you by Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating. 0-0 on the board, but Newburgh has had the ball the entirety of this 1st quarter so far. Let's see what they're going to do. It's Hoover. He's in shotgun. He has Tajir Walker right next to him. And it's going to be to Tajir Walker. Walker going to the left outside. He gets inside the 5-yard line, but he stopped at the 4.
I mean, to have this drive, they have to do something here. I mean, they just 2 straight runs. I mean, you gotta open it up. I mean, you're in the red zone, and I've watched Middletown play. Middletown has a very good red zone defense. They have kids that are fast enough to get to the spots they need to be, and they can sit there and cover and just move and shadow and ghost all the way around the field. Newburgh has to watch out for that because, I mean, yeah, you may be able to run all the way down the field on them, but once you're inside the 20, I mean, that red zone defense is no joke for Middletown, so you gotta take them seriously.
Middletown had some penalties that have caused them to kind of go forward and back. Let's see what they have. Ball on the 4. Hands it off to Walker. Walker making some move, but he's wrapped up by nothing but white jerseys, and he's brought down. It is a no gain, actually brought back for a 2-yard loss. That is going to be 4th down on the 6-yard line. Excellent job there by that Middletown red zone defense. You talked about it, Ethan.
Yeah, that Middletown red zone defense, I mean, look at their defensive line. I mean, I haven't seen kids that big. Come on. Like,
all those wrestlers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Shout out Coach Lichtenstein's got the wrestlers out here.
I mean, and they're the best for it because they know how to get a hold on you, and they can throw you around like it's nothing.
And as we're lining up for the Mid-City Transit field goal attempt here for 3 points by Newburgh. Clock is winding. We're at a minute now. In the first quarter, they've had it the entirety of this first quarter. The kick is up. And they're calling it good. So it's 3-0. The first score of the game, and Newburgh gets on the board after a field goal here. 3-0. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
ADAC and Orange County Stop DWI invite everyone to help kick off Red Ribbon Week on Thursday, October 19th at 4 p.m. at the Orange County Government Center. Red Ribbon Week is the nation's largest and longest drug prevention campaign. This year's theme is Be Kind to Your Mind, Live Drug-Free. Show your support of prevention efforts by sponsoring a ribbon to be displayed at the beautiful campus in Goshen, New York. Donations can be made at adacinfo.com. Prevention is key to keeping our youth safe. Join us in spreading awareness on October 19th.
Time to get back to the action. It's Middies football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio. 51.4 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and the only team that's had the ball was the Newburgh Goldbacks. 3-0 as they came downfield to kick a field goal. That is the score of the game as they are set to kick off, and your Middies are going to have the ball for the first time today, and it's going to be JoJo Royale.
You know, DJ, I mean, Newburgh held the ball right there for 11 minutes.
Big kick, too, to start. In and out of the hands of the return man, but it goes into the end zone. Thankfully, that is going to be a kickback. We're going to get it. We're going to get a touchback, excuse me. We're going to get the ball on the 20.
You know, Newburgh had the ball right there for 11 minutes, but to only come away with 3 points, I mean, I feel like that's a win for Middletown on that drive. I mean,
absolutely.
You just lost your whole entire first quarter, and you only gave up 3 points. I mean, that's very big for Coach Strenfield's defense. I mean, that tells you right there, I mean, your defense is going to have a lot on its plate today.
You can absolutely hang your hat on that first drive. The fact that they carried that ball the entirety of the first quarter, all but under a minute, and you only got 3 points. Great job for the Middies. Here they come. Here comes the offense led by JoJo Royale. We got a man in motion. That's going to bring us a flag. But was it Middletown or was it the edge defender?
I'll say that.
And it's encroachment on Newburgh. Newburgh with the penalties that are setting the back on both sides of the ball now, Ethan.
Yeah, that was close. I mean, you saw right there, JoJo did do a little bit of a flinch right there.
Right.
And I think that's what might have gotten him caught off guard right there. But, I mean, JoJo has to watch that, too, because that could be considered false start on the offense. So that's got to be.
It could be, but we all know on defense there's only one thing you do, and you're watching the ball. You don't watch the players. You watch that ball. The ball moves, you move. 1st and 5. Here we go. 46.3. JoJo Royale going to back to pass. He gets it incomplete. Man, in and out of the hands of Elijah Georges. Georges made some great plays last week, but this time, unfortunately, incomplete. That's going to bring up 2nd and 5.
I don't know if you're noticing, DJ, but the past 2 plays right before the snap, Newburgh is changing their whole defense. They're bringing their two left side line, and they're bringing them to the right side. They're literally switching every time. Look, even their safeties are switching right now. just depending on what Middletown is bringing up
as
to the
they're
field.
lined up. Middletown with 4 wide receivers. This time it's complete to Elijah Georges, and we got a first down for the Middy Bears. Great job. That one complete. JoJo Royale to Elijah Georges. Ball's going to be down at the 39-yard line, and the Middies have their first down of the game.
You know what I said before, how Middletown has those kids that can get to certain spots very quickly and move around. That's what Middletown's going to have to do today. I mean, with the pressure that Newburgh is going to bring, JoJo's going to have to get rid of the ball quick. He's going to have to find those receivers on those 3-yard drags,
Absolutely.
those 5-yard outs. And that's what they just did right there.
And right before the snap, we had whistles blown. I don't see a flag on the field. I don't know if you do, Ethan.
I see it top right.
It's all the way up at the top. There were 4 wide receivers, 2 on either side. Let's see what the official call is. And it's a false start, unfortunately, there for the Middy Bears after getting their first down. And that false start is going to bring them back 5 yards, and it's going to be a 1st and 15. Ball's going to be placed at the 29-yard line, unfortunately. Let's see what the Middies can drum up. 17 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Middies working to the right towards NFA. Has a man in motion. Here comes the rush for JoJo. In and out of the hands of the receiver. Incomplete. That pass was intended for Caden Blackman, and he had a Goldback draped all over him.
Right there, Newburgh sent a full-on blitz right
Absolutely.
there. They had not a single linebacker in coverage. All their linebackers were going for the quarterback. And JoJo did the smart thing. I mean, he dropped back, took his 2 steps, and threw the ball right away. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do right there on that play, because you have pressure coming off both your edges. You don't want to keep that, you know.
No, absolutely.
So, I mean, even if he was covered, he was blanketed a little bit. I mean, you still gotta try for that ball. You still gotta throw it.
And it was a great job having the poise to sit in there and get that pass off. 2nd and 15, 7.5 seconds to go before we finish this one off. It's a 4 wide receiver set, trips to the left. JoJo's under pressure, still has the ball. He throws it way downfield, and it is incomplete, but there's a flag on the play. This could be DPI. Caden Blackman, it was intended for.
Ooh.
Let's see exactly what we have.
That's a very
the
questionable
flag on the
call.
play. The defender in question was Jakari Lamb.
They have to make the decision if this ball was catchable or not, because I don't think
it
that
could
ball
have
was
been
catchable.
if Jakari Lamb wasn't holding on to him. And no, it's actually on Caden Blackman.
Wow.
Offensive pass interference. What a turn of events.
I wouldn't have called an offensive pass interference. If anything, you call a defensive pass interference on that. That didn't look like the receiver was doing anything.
We are in Newburgh. Let me stop. All in good sportsmanship, though. We love this great community and what they're doing here on their homecoming day. But that was an offensive pass interference, going to set the Middies back now. Still 2nd and 15. 1.2 seconds to go. 3-0. Newburgh is up after holding the ball in the entirety of the first quarter. JoJo Royale's under pressure again. Gets it off. Has a man, and it is Calvin Perez this time. Calvin Perez couldn't get but so much. Doesn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. And that one is going to carry us into the second quarter. That's it for the first quarter. 3-0. Goldbacks over your hometown Middy Bears. We'll be right back. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
So, Benjamin, what seems to be the problem?
I need you to unhinge my jaw.
I'm sorry, uncinch your bra?
No, I need you to unhinge my jaw.
He had one of those deliciously huge deli sandwiches from Shortstop Deli on East Main Street in Middletown.
Oh, unhinge your jaw. Got it, okay. Those are tasty.
Got a huge hunger? You need Shortstop Deli, open every day, 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. Everything is served fast and fresh by Russ and the gang. Shortstop Deli, Shutt Road and East Main in Middletown.
Time to get back to the action. It's Middies football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio. DJ McPherson, Ethan McElroy here with you. Our guy Jeff Anderson is joining us in studio. We are starting the second quarter here on the road at NFA. You can hear all the fanfare here. It is homecoming day and also the pink game day. Newburgh is leading 3-0 over your Middy Bears after carrying the ball for 11 minutes in the first quarter, but to the credit of the defense, only walked away with 3 points. Here's JoJo Royale under pressure again, throws it down the middle, has it made it, it's complete! And it is complete. That pass was to number 0, G.O.B., our guy. Giovanni Bauernfein catches it. Pass complete. That's a 22-yard pass there by the young JoJo Royale. And they're going to move the chains. Middletown now in Newburgh territory. Ball's going to be placed at the 43.
You know, everyone's going to sit there and they're going to say that great play by the quarterback, great play by the wide receivers. I don't care. It's the Austin Carroll in me, but that offensive line, that was an amazing play by that offensive line.
JoJo Royale, absolutely. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Excellent play by the offensive line. Another quick pass there, again, to G.O.B. It's a good 4-yard gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 6 here for the Middy Bears. 11:25 here to go. We are starting the second quarter. And just want to remind everybody this week, don't forget about Kate Brandon in the morning. Here on Wall Radio, the Hudson Valley's hits is the greatest hits for Orange County and the Hudson Valley. It's JoJo Royale. He's under pressure, spins out of it. He's trying to make something of it, but he is sacked, but only for about a 2-yard loss. Excellent job there by young JoJo Royale, who's been under duress seemingly the entire time that they've had the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Newburgh's been sending at least 5 or 6 every single time at JoJo. I mean, but that's what you have to with this Middletown offense. I mean, I'm not going to lie, DJ, I haven't seen them go really into their wing T much, that wing T formation yet. I mean, that's Middletown's bread and butter. I mean, I don't understand why they haven't pulled that out yet. I mean, again, they're coming out in shotgun again. I mean, this is the Middletown team that I have not seen before.
JoJo Royale normally lined up under center, and we have some motion out there. Laundry on the field, and it's encroachment again. That's going to be a big help for the Middy Bears, as we were already at 3rd and long. And now it's going to be 3rd and short. That's going to be 3rd and 4 here for the Middy Bears. Ball's going to be placed down on the 42-yard line, back again. I think actually that the last play was incomplete, and that's why they brought the ball back. They ruled it a completion. Here we go. JoJo is now under center. Man in motion. Let's see what they want to do. Turns around and hands it off to Jelani Graham. There you go, to the 2nd level, down to the 31st down for the Middy Bears.
And there's the wing T. I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, that's Middletown has literally been running that since the beginning of time. I can tell you when my father played, he told me he went up against the wing T against Middletown. So, I mean, it's their bread and butter. They know exactly what to do, and they have the weapons to run that every time. They have the weapons.
Absolutely.
They don't need to just give it to number 15. They don't need to just give it to number 3. I mean, they can make this so much. Like, look at this.
Royale again under center, turns around. This time it's again to Calvin Perez. It's Quentin Langlitz, in motion again, and that one's going to give him a good 4-yard gain. Going to be 2nd and 6. 9:24, still 3-0 here in the second quarter as Middletown has the ball. Both teams are very systematically and slowly matriculating the ball downfield, not giving up too many big plays. 2nd and 6. Here come the Middy Bears, man in motion. And JoJo's going to turn around, but the play is broken up, and there's a flag on the field. Let's see who this is called on. We've seen a lot of penalties already in this first half here, Ethan.
Yeah, I mean, this is.
And it's a false start, unfortunately, there for the Middy Bears. That one's going to bring them back.
I don't even know. I mean, some of these penalties that refs throw, it doesn't really make much sense. I mean, that play, what they say, false start?
They said false start on the Bears.
That's not even. I mean, I didn't see a single guy move. I mean, he might have gotten out of his stance a little bit before the ball was snapped. But I mean, come on, man, let the kids play. There's been more. Honestly, there's been more flags than I think actual snaps tonight.
Been a lot of flags. Here they come. We're in shotgun this time. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. JoJo Royale looks to his left, in and out of the hands of the receiver. Pass intended for Ramon Alexander, just couldn't hold on to it. And that's going to bring up 3rd and long here for the Middy Bears. He had him. It looked like it was a hot read or his first read out there to the left. Short route, he came right back in and out of the hands.
Yeah,
just couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, just what you said. I mean, he just couldn't hold on to that ball. I mean, it happens. I mean, as we see, I mean, they can't see, but he had 2 guys running straight for him right there too. I mean, that's – and no matter what, I mean, you have 2 big kids running right after you. I mean, that's gonna scare you a little bit. And
little alligator arm action.
Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, we still have another opportunity. 8:50 to go here in the second quarter. JoJo Royale looks to go under center, backs up, and we have another whistle, but it's a timeout there this time by the Middy Bears. Nobody's got a penalty. Let's take a quick break ourselves. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Driving while impaired has serious consequences. In 2021, 10,147 alcohol and drug-related crashes occurred, while more than 9 people per day were arrested for impaired driving in New York State. If you feel different, you drive different. Before you go out, always have a plan to get home safe. A message brought to you by Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program and New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Paid for by ANAC through Stop DWI.
This is Middletown High School football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio. DJ McPherson, Ethan McElroy. Here in Newburgh, where the Goldbacks are leading the Middy Bears 3-0. 8:38 here to go in the second quarter, where the Middy Bears are faced with a 3rd and long. The whistle is blown. Let's see Newburgh looking like they're going to put some pressure on again. And JoJo Royale gets the pass complete over the man. It's to Perez. Perez has a first down, and he's still going, pushed out of bounds, but not before he gets a first down, and he's inside the 20-yard line.
That's a great play. I mean, there's a little screen right. The offensive line blocked their man for a second and then let him go, and they had no idea. I mean, you saw one of their linebackers. You know, he stepped back a little bit, but I mean, like I was saying before, these kids are so fast on this Middletown team. You have to take the perfect angle to even be able to have a chance at tackling some of these kids. They make one move, and it's so easy for them to get around you.
Calvin Perez just taking that one 15 yards. Ball is going to be down at the 17-yard line. Missing man, the tight end had to come from the sideline. Turns around and hands it off. This time to Perez again. Perez is inside the 5-yard line. Did he make it into the end zone?
I think he's down.
No, it looks like he slid in, but he's going to be down, marked down at the 1-yard line. Excellent job there by Calvin Perez, breaking through to the second level. 14-yard gain for the Middy Bears.
Newburgh just got caught on their heels, man. I mean, I don't think Newburgh thought they were going to run the ball in that play. I think they actually thought they were going to throw it.
Especially not with Jelani Graham right behind the young JoJo Royale, but that time it was Calvin Perez. Perez just got to the second level, busted it out there to the right. And now we're down here at the 1. Opportunity to score for the Middies. Turnaround is to Jelani Graham. Touchdown, Middy Bears.
I don't think he got that handoff off.
No, he did not. Actually, he kept it himself. You're right.
He kept it, yeah. I don't think he got that handoff off. I think they might have ran a little bit too fast for him, and he just kept it and went behind him.
Excellent job there. And not Jelani Graham. That one was JoJo Royale himself, taking it in for the first score of the game, the first touchdown of the game. Middletown up 6-3 as we line up for the Mid-City Transit extra point. Great job there by the young JoJo Royale, and it looks like Joe Royale is coming back out here. I think we're going to get the Mid-City Transit 2-point conversion.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
That's exactly what we're doing here. Middletown taking no chances here. Royale has a man in motion, has the ball, looking to his left, gets it in and out of the hands, incomplete, and that's going to leave us with just a 3-point lead here. 6-3. Middletown doesn't get the 2-point conversion, but they get the first touchdown of the game. 6-3, 7:54 here to go. We're going to take another quick break. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Ready to buy your Hudson Valley dream home? Now you can achieve your dream and enjoy a great rate from Rhinebeck Bank. Summer is the best time to get moving with a great Rhinebeck Bank mortgage and then get moving into your perfect place. No hoops to jump through, no kidding. Apply today and start your house hunting. Just go to rhinebeckbank.com/mortgage and get started. It's that easy. Rhinebeck Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS number 477976. Your home, your dream, your bank. Rhinebeck Bank.
This is Middletown High School football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio. We saw our first touchdown of the game with 7:54 here to go, and fortunately it was for your hometown Middy Bears. That was the young JoJo Royale on a botched handoff there, just taking it behind Jelani Graham and getting the first touchdown of the game as we line up here. Although they went for the two-point conversion after the touchdown, did not get it. As we line up here for the big kick, big booming kick by Twiggy. It's going to be fielded close to the 30, and he gets it down to about the 33-yard line there. Newburgh Goldbacks with some great field position here to start off their first possession on offense in the second quarter. And just to kind of recap, in that first quarter, brought to you by Steve Dot Plumbing and Heating, in the first quarter, Newburgh held on to the ball for 11 of the 12 first quarter minutes. An amazing job by Newburgh, but even more amazing, we saw that Middletown defense ramp up in the red zone, only giving them 3 points. They did not get the touchdown they had wished for after such a successful first quarter, not even a first drive. And here come the Goldbacks on offense. It's Mason Hoover. He's got 3 wide. He's going to hand it off again, of course, to our guy Tahir Walker. Walker, you're just going to hear that name all night, a guy who made great plays last year for them in that playoff loss here at this field for the Middy Bears. Only a gain of 1 on this one. It's going to be 2nd and 9, 7:30 to go here in the second quarter. Middy Bears up 6-3 here at NFA in Newburgh, New York, but we still have some great traveling Fowler faithfuls, as we call them. Great Middletown home team. We got families, friends, and fans out there. It's Hoover again in the shotgun, 4 wide. Looks to his left, passes it. It's complete. As he's trying to run, he's quickly surrounded by the white jerseys of the Middies. Only about a 5-yard gain. That's going to be 3rd and 4. That was complete to Xavier Sewell from Mason Hoover. Only a 3-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 5 here for the Goldbacks. Ball is going to be placed on the 39-yard line there. Still not getting too much penetration into the Middies territory here on only their second offensive drive of the game.
I mean, it's crazy to think, though. I mean, their first drive consisted probably of what 3 or 4 drives would be. So.
Right. And it's Hoover. He's going to look, check down to Tahir Walker. Walker's going to come out of the backfield. Does he get the first down? And it looks like he does. Tahir Walker, it looks like Hoover just had nobody downfield. He checks it down to Walker, and Walker took it for a few yards.
I mean, being able to go through all of your progressions like that and then be able to hit your last guy, I mean, right there, that's showing your offensive line is working, man.
Absolutely,
I mean, they're giving you enough time to go through 5 different receivers and then down to your running back. It's insane. I mean, these kids are so good at what they do. Their technique is so down to point, and it's so crisp watching them play.
Excellent job there by Hoover getting the pass off. And, of course, he's going to hand it off to Tahir Walker. Tahir Walker, he's got a first down and some. Gets past a few defenders. One Middy still had him by the shoe, and it was Caden Blackman. First down for the Newburgh Goldbacks. Ball's going to be placed down. It's a pickup of 17. Ball's going to be down at the 38-yard line.
That looks like it's going to be Newburgh's bread and butter right there. I mean, they're bringing their right guard and, I mean, their left guard and left tackle across the middle right there. That's something that you don't want to see being a corner, a 5'8", 5'9" corner on the opposing team. See one of them big boys run towards you.
Mason Hoover, again, in shotgun. 3 wide receivers.
Oh, that's a false start, yeah.
And it's going to be a false start. Couple of flags coming out on the field. False start. That's the call. It's going to push them back. It's going to be 1st and long here for the Goldbacks. We got 5:44 here to go in the second quarter. Middies are up by 3 points, 6-3. The Middy Bears with the only touchdown in the game failed the two-point conversion after the Newburgh Goldbacks in the first quarter held it for 11 minutes, but only ended up with 3 points here. There's still a lot going on. We are at Newburgh's homecoming game, and it is the pink game day. That's why we see a lot of pink out there in support of breast cancer. Hoover out of the shotgun. Here comes the pressure. Gets the pass off. He dodges the field defenders. He's at the 30. Wow. Somebody hit the juke stick. He's down at the 23-yard line. Man, excellent job there. That one was Alex Barrett just taking that thing, tried to get it to the house, but a good 17-yard gain there by Alex Barrett.
I know they can't see at home, but I would just want to say number 53, or I don't know who that was, number 73, Jose Rivera, for that Newburgh team. He just moved from that left side of the line all the way down 10, 15 yards to make a block for his receiver right there. That is what Newburgh needs every single play.
And it's Walker again. Walker getting to the second level on the first down handoff in a pickup of 8 yards. Walker gets the team all the way down to, it looks about the 17-yard line.
Middletown is looking very flat right now. They're looking like they're playing on their heels, and it looks like they don't even want to be out there right now. I mean, the way
they have the lead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's weird. It's crazy how momentum can shift in a football game like this, literally like that. And off of that play, that last play, that was coming off of a penalty against the Goldenbacks, and they just ran for another 20 yards. So I mean, it's crazy.
Let's see what Hoover wants to do. He's going to hand it off to Walker. Walker is quickly met by that Middletown defense. Loss of 3 yards on that play. That ball is going to come down to the 20 now. And we might have another timeout here with 4:22 to go. Or no, they're just stopping the clock there, getting it back in motion. Yep, there we go. They actually gave him a couple of yards on that one. It looks like they gave him a little favor. Now the ball is going to be placed down on the 18. It was placed at the 20.
Yeah.
Now it's 3rd and 5.
Gave him a 2-yard gain on a 2-yard loss.
And we're in Newburgh.
I was going to say, that's Newburgh for you, dude.
Here we go. Mason Hoover again out of the shotgun. Looking to roll out to his right. Gets the pass off, and it is incomplete, out of bounds. Just couldn't keep it in bounds there, and in and out of the one hand of the receiver anyways. That's going to bring up 4th down, 4th and 5 here, and it looks like the Goldbacks offense is going to stay on that field. Bianco, you know what? I believe number 4 is probably going to have the ball in his hands here, try to make a play.
I was just going to say, it looks like when Newburgh doesn't have number 4, Tajir Walker out there, they're throwing the ball.
Right.
It looks like every time he goes in, it looks like they're running the ball. I mean, who wouldn't? If the way he moves, like once he gets to the second level, I mean, it's about a 90% chance that kid is going all the way. I mean, he needs to make 2 guys miss, and he can make it miss.
And there is no Tajir. Actually, Walker is stretched out to the left. Here, three wide receivers, 2 of them there to the far sideline, and he's looking to his left. Pass it to Walker. Walker has it in the end zone. Actually, that was not Tajir Walker. Excuse me.
That was.
Not Tajir Walker, that was June Rivas.
June Rivas. I mean, that was a great play. If you saw, Walker and Rivas were both over there on that side, so they made their cuts based off of what the corners did, how they playing against their players. So, I mean, that left side of the line, the left side wide receivers, one ran a fly and the other ran like a 15, 20-yard in. They both ran those routes based off of which way those corners dropped, because the one corner dropped back all the way left, so Rivas knew he could come, do a nice 15-yard in, and he'd catch that ball wide open. And like we saw, he was wide open.
Wide open, just walked into the end zone there. Big play for Newburgh as they are now up by 3. 9-6 as we line up for the Mid-City Transit extra point. But we are getting some signaling down there by Troy Van Buren.
I was say, do you know what that is? I don't know what kind of signal he was.
And it just kind of meant where they're going to place the ball. As the clock now goes. We're lined up for the Mid-City Transit extra point. Newburgh, 3-point lead, looking to put a little something else on the board. Kick is up, and that is an excellent kick. That is good. That is 10-6. The Goldbacks up by 4. First touchdown of the game for Newburgh. 3:46 here to go in the second quarter. We're going to take another quick break. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Time to get back to the action. It's Middies football on
Back to the action here on Wall Radio, where we just saw Newburgh with their first touchdown of the game. Score is 10-6, 3:46 here to go in the second quarter. And it looks like, you know, that signaling that was going on the field, it was a taunting penalty there.
Oh,
and,
really?
And that's why Newburgh is so far back here.
Oh, wow, yeah.
To kick off. And Middletown is up on about the 25-yard line to field the kick. So we got a little lucky there. Let's see exactly what we get. It's a big, high kick. And we are moving back. Fielded at the 20-yard line. We get to the 20. We're at the 30, the 35, the 40. He gets some leg room. We're past the 50, and it's going to be down at the 46-yard line. Great job by Quentin Langlitz, excuse me. Quentin Langlitz with a great return of over 25 yards. Gets the ball into Newburgh territory. Ball's going to be placed down at the 46. And that is where the Middies will start coming out. Only down by 4. 10-6 to go. 3:36 here before we get to halftime. Middletown with the first touchdown of the game, but just couldn't get that two-point conversion down. Here comes JoJo Royale in the offense. 3 wide receivers here, 2 here to the near sideline, and it's going to be a handoff. Handoff again to Perez. Perez only gets about a 2-yard gain on the play. That ball is going to be down at the 44. 2nd and 8 here for the Middies.
On that play right there, it looked like that Newburgh defensive line was not ready at all. I mean, they had 3 of their guys just standing upright, just trying to tell the other guy to go somewhere. I mean, that's bad communication on Newburgh's part right there.
Bad communication, but Middletown unfortunately didn't get away with too much on that one. It's JoJo Royale looking back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Gets it off to Perez. Perez off the right side. He gets to the 40 just under. It looks like there was a horse collar on that, and there goes the flag on that tackle. That was a great job by Perez getting that bouncing out to the right, picking up about 6. The flag on the play came late right after the tackle there, and it looks like it could have been unintentional horse collar.
Probably an unintentional horse collar.
And it's a personal foul on Newburgh. That's going to give us an automatic first down, Ethan.
And another 15. I mean, that's just very costly right there by Newburgh. They got to be smarter than that.
You know, for 2 teams, and we saw last week with Middletown and Monroe, for 2 teams that can light up a scoreboard, when they come together, it's not always a high-scoring affair like what we're seeing here. And after that assessed penalty, the ball is going to be placed on the 24-yard line. First down and 10 for the Middy Bears. 2:38. Clock is winding down closer to halftime. Middies down 4 points. 10-6 Newburgh Goldbacks. Man in motion. It's going to be a handoff quickly met, and a big hit in the backfield there for Perez. And Newburgh is on their feet cheering that one on. Perez just couldn't get anything going. Stopped for a 2-yard loss.
Sorry, Deej, but that's what Newburgh does so well. I mean, sending those guys, and they go in, their heads down, and they're like, I want to hit somebody. And that's what they do so well. Yeah. They have the athletes to just send in and be like, you know what? Go cause some damage. Go wrap this play up. And that's what you just saw right there. I mean, that play, I think there was 4 Goldbacks in the hole right there.
It looks like there were. 2 minutes to go. JoJo's backed up. He has pressure. Gets a pass off. It is intercepted. Intercepted down at the 11-yard line by Newburgh. Man, unfortunately, that was number 11, Quincy Monstime. And Monstein just came down with that one. It was a little underthrown there.
I was going to say, that's like what we saw with Hoover before. I mean, I think that wide receiver just thought that ball was going to be thrown on a bullet, and he didn't expect to have to come back for that ball. I mean, that's football right there. I mean, you can't blame it on the quarterback. You can't blame that on the wide receiver. That's just football.
Unfortunately, yeah, JoJo Royale had a lot of hands in his face, but I just give him so much credit for having the poise. You know, watching him last year when guys like Deontay Johnson were all over him, didn't have the same kind of poise. He's standing in the pocket, taking some hits and completing passes. As here comes the Newburgh offense, and it looks like there was a little bit of confusion or ball placement here. And here come the referees. No flags on the field, and I think they are switching the balls out. Yeah, they had Middletown's ball still on the field. As we get that situation under control, when we come back and as we blow the whistle, we're starting 1:47 to go before we get into halftime. It's Hoover out of the shotgun. Hoover's moving, looking to his left to throw. He's under pressure. He's sweeping out of the end zone, throws it downfield, and it is incomplete. Just threw the ball away. That was a smart play there by Hoover.
I mean, to get out of the pocket right there, I mean, that pocket collapsed in the matter of 2 seconds. He didn't even have time to get his third step in for his 3-step drop.
Right.
So, I mean, that was perfect. I mean, he didn't get a completion off that, but I mean, he did save himself a 10-yard loss. Heck, even a fumble.
Even a safety. He came out of the end zone. He went pretty deep on that one. Had to come out of the end zone, so very fortunate for Hoover and the Goldbacks. Here comes Hoover, getting the call from Bianco on the sideline. 1:39 to go. It's 2nd and 10. Newburgh up by 4, 10-6 over the Middy Bears. Newburgh moving to the right towards NFA. Hoover's in the shotgun, still looking to pass, sweeping out to his right again. Big pass downfield, and it's picked off. It's picked off by Culver. He's going the other way. He's at the 20. He's at the 10, and he's knocked out way hard out of bounds.
I think that was 16 Kyle Scott, right?
Wow.
That was Kyle Scott on that play.
Number 16, Kyle Scott. A little bit of controversy there on that hit. But, man, that was a legal hit.
Oh, yeah.
Big hit. And Kyle Scott is over on the sidelines getting the Middletown fans all riled up. Middies have the ball again. 1:26 to go. They're down by 4, but they are in the red zone. Ball is officially placed at the 9-yard line, so that gives us a 1st and goal.
I mean, right there, Hoover, he was watching that left wide receiver that whole play. I mean, as soon as he saw that receiver even get half a step on the corner, he decided to throw that ball, not even worrying about the safety coming over top. That just wasn't smart football right there.
Royale under center, hands it off to Perez.
Fumble, it looked like.
Perez is trying to do all he can to break through. Perez is going to be tackled, but not before he picks up a few yards on that inside the 5 now. Ball's going to be placed down at the 4-yard line. Great job by the Middy Bears now. 1 minute to go before we get into halftime. Middies down by just 4. 10-6, it's Newburgh. The clock is winding. JoJo Royale and the Middies are going to take their time deliberating, knowing what play they're going to figure out what play they want to do. They have the time, although it looks like it's developing slowly. I'm not sure what they want to do.
I think Strenfield's going to call a timeout.
Strenfield is taking his time over there with his quarterback on the sideline.
Yeah, he's talking.
Yeah, he's definitely going to take a timeout on this one. And there's the timeout. Let's take a quick one ourselves. 33.2 seconds to go. You're listening to Middletown Football here on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Hello there, Joe Daly here, inviting you to start your weekend mornings with me. We'll have all the latest news, Mike Spiel's forecast from the Weather Tower, Charlie North with Charlie's Chuckles, the Trivia Challenge, weekend happenings, and of course, the Hudson Valley's greatest hits. Join me every Saturday and Sunday morning from 8 until 12 noon, right here on the weekend morning show that sleeps in on the Hudson Valley's hometown station.
Time to get back to the action. It's Middies Football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio. We've seen a little more action and movement there in the second quarter after Newburgh holds the ball for 11 minutes in the first. Middletown getting the first touchdown, but failing to convert on the 2-point conversion there. So it's 6-3. And then here come the Newburgh Goldbacks. They come downfield. They get a touchdown. It's 10-6 now. Middletown with the interception. Now it's 2nd and goal. They are at the 4-yard line. JoJo Royale under center, man in motion, turns around, hands it off, gets a couple of yards, but still no touchdown.
No,
as Calvin Perez down to the 1-yard line. Call it about the half-yard line, but this clock is ticking.
I think Strenfield's
Middletown has 2 timeouts.
Yeah, I think he's going to call another
and
timeout.
Newburgh 3. And it looks like he is going to call another timeout. That clock is still going. Let's see exactly what they do with the clock. They called the timeout when it was about more than 10 seconds.
I was going to say, it was probably 15 seconds when they called that timeout. They definitely are going to need some time back on the clock. I mean,
and it's 7.4 seconds now. I'm anxious to see exactly what they're going to do. We have the referees up here.
If they keep this, Middletown just lost the whole play right there. Because
unfortunately,
you saw Strenfield. I mean, as soon as JoJo went over by Strenfield, I mean, he was showing the ref. He was like this. He was showing him, and then I mean, it took the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach, all of them throwing up their hands to timeout to even get the officials' attention.
There were a lot of whistles blown too from the referees calling for the timeout, calling for the clock to stop.
Yeah.
So this is going to be
there
we go. We got 15 seconds.
Good.
Back up on the clock there. Looks like Middletown got it. All right.
Good, because that'd be very, very messed up for Middletown, because that's 2 plays right there, because Strenfield does have another timeout. So I mean that's 3. That's 2 plays, maybe 3.
That's 2. It's a good 2 plays. Let's see what they want to do here. Royale is going to be under center. If they don't get it, they have to quickly line up and just punch it in again. It's 3rd and goal. Ball is on the 1.5-yard line. Turns around, hands it off.
He's in.
Does he get in there? Touchdown, Midi Bears. And we have retaken the lead here. It's going to be 12-10. Excellent job there by the Midi Bears. 2nd touchdown of the game and of this quarter. This time it was Calvin Perez banging it in there. Middletown with the 2-point lead, 12-10 as we line up for the Mid-City Transit extra point. And are they going to do the extra point, or do we have the offense back in here again? And it looks like, Ethan, Middletown delivering a clear message saying we're going to go for 2 again.
I mean, they went for 2 the first time and didn't get it, so
this could even it up, giving them an even 14 points there.
I mean, also them not getting this, that's very good for Newburgh. I mean, that's a field goal, and with Newburgh's kicker, it looks like they can probably hit a field goal from at least 40 with their kicker.
Look who's in the backfield. Stephen Moncherry in the Wildcat. Steph's going to take – no! He's a jump pass by Stephen Moncherry, and it's a 2-point conversion there by the Midi Bears. Stephen Moncherry in the Wildcat. Oh, my God.
That was awesome.
It looks like he was about to – wow, looks like he was about to run up on the line. Stephen Moncherry with the pass complete to Max Sarbello. Excellent job there. Stephen Moncherry this year has a safety sack. He has fumble recoveries, and now he has a 2-point conversion pass on his resume. Midi Bears up 14-10 with 12 seconds to go before we close out the half.
Heck, if I'm Moncherry, I think I'm going to school on Monday, and I'm saying, hey, I threw a touchdown pass. I'm just saying.
That is every lineman's dream. You know how every lineman at practice every day.
Oh, I know.
Coach, let me kick. Coach, let me run. Let me throw away everything.
Coach, let me line up against the scout team, please.
Exactly.
Come on. That is every big man's dream right there, and he is living it.
I'm living vicariously through Stephen Moncherry tonight, because I begged Coach Wolfslayer and every other coach on the staff for years, let me get 1 rep in. It's 3rd and 1. Come on, Coach.
Oh, yeah.
You need me in there.
Same thing with Coach Staharski, man. I was telling him every day at practice, I'm like, let's just put in a play where I run the ball. Why not, right? Why not? Let's do it.
What's the harm?
Yeah, what's the harm? Exactly.
I'm an athlete too, Coach.
Exactly, Coach. I'm an athlete too. As we saw right there from Moncherry, I mean, he just threw the ball.
I thought he was going to run.
I thought he was going to run it too.
Stephen Moncherry, he's going to plow through this line.
Exactly.
Great job. You know, the
onside.
They call it, and it's an onside kick here by the Midi Bears, but the Goldbacks quickly get on it. And that was a legal kick. It went over 10 yards. Newburgh gets on the ball. It's going to be placed right before midfield. The ball is going to be down at the 48-yard line.
Gotta stop the clock.
The clock still hasn't stopped again. There's supposed to be 12 seconds on the clock. We got 6.8. And I think we might need a stopwatch here in the second half so we can keep some time going. Ethan.
I mean, it's not 6. There we go.
And there it is, 11 seconds.
11. All right.
Hey, listen, like I say with Lou Massey, I'm a better coach, GM, and even referee up here. I'll tell you that one. I'll let them do their jobs. We have our comments. We see what we see, but I'll leave it to the professionals tonight. It's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Goldbacks. Ball on the 48-yard line. Ethan, do you think they're going to try to go downfield and get a score?
I mean, they have the timeouts to do it. I mean, they're gonna need a couple 2 quick bullets to even get in field goal range, man. I mean,
a lot of whistles, and there goes one timeout. They're taken up by the new. And there goes Coach Lichtenstein. We talked about it. Every big guy's dream. He said the same thing there before he goes into halftime. Every big man's dream. You know what? I played with Coach Lichtenstein, and he said that to me because he remembers every day at practice I was wearing the coach's ear out. Let me get it for once. So
just one play, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Jason. You remember. Mason Hoover out of the shotgun. He's going to be brought down. It's Stephen Monchery again, the senior captain, with another play. Big sack and a loss, and that's how we are going to end the first half there. Zeros on the board, and Middies are going to take this thing into halftime. Excellent 2 plays back-to-back by Stephen Monchery. He throws it out of the Wildcat, gets the 2-point conversion, and gets the big sack to close out the first half. It's Middletown up by 4 points, 14-10 over the Newburgh Goldbacks here in NFA, up 84 here. We're on the road, and don't forget, guys, when we come back, we get the ball to start the second half. We're going to take a quick break. Ethan McElroy, DJ McPherson, we have keys to the game coming up. We got out-of-town scoreboard. A lot's going on in this action-packed game here. Big plays in the second quarter. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Great service, great staff, great reputation. That's Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating, working hard to maintain that reputation they've built over the years. The Steve Dodd team is your go-to for exceptional service and maintenance of heating systems, water heaters, and water pumps. Their experienced, licensed, and insured professionals are here for you for simple repairs to full renovations. Call 845-386-2217 and have your heating system checked for the season. Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating. Call today.
Mid-City Transit is a proud supporter of the Middletown High School football team, and right now they're looking for drivers to join their team. To apply today, visit midcitytransit.com. Since 1935, Mid-City Transit has been transporting the children of the Middletown School District, always committed to providing those children with a safe, reliable bus service. Mid-City Transit is also available for charters, wedding shuttles, family reunions, and trips. Everyone at Mid-City Transit wishes the Middletown High School football team good luck this season. Go Middies!
Serving Ulster, Dutchess, and Orange counties. This is the Hudson Valley's hometown station. WALL, Middletown, New York, USA. This is Middletown High School football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio. DJ McPherson, Ethan McElroy. We got our guy Jeff joining us in studio. But here at NFA, the action is all on the field as the Middies have a 4-point lead, 14-10 over the Newburgh Goldbacks after an amazing first half of football. Despite what the score says here, we've seen an interception from both teams. We've seen Newburgh hold the ball for 11 of the 12 minutes in the first quarter. We've seen a lot of action. We've seen a lot of defense. The defenses are coming for these quarterbacks. They are hitting. They are rushing the edges. Ethan McElroy, come on in with some first half. Let's talk about our first half keys. What do we see? Let's talk first about Newburgh, the home team. Let's get them out of the way here first. 11-minute first quarter. I mean, let's just start with how amazing that was.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. I mean, combined, they probably have 14, 15 minutes of total offense so far in the first quarter. And that's a quarter.
Right.
That's an entire quarter, man. And they only have 10 points to show for it. I mean, that's that is awesome. I know we said we talk about Newburgh, but I mean, that's awesome for Middletown. I mean, they have over 15 minutes of possession, and they still only have 10 points on the board. They're still losing the football game.
Right.
It's insane how quick and how easy a game can be turned around. It's actually quite funny. It's because, like, 11 minutes on offense, and you can't score?
Right.
That's insane. And for the red zone defense for Middletown, I mean, you've seen Newburgh get in the red zone twice, and I mean, they scored. Yeah, they might have scored on that one deep little post route, but every time they've gotten in the red zone, they have not been able to do anything.
Right.
And that's what Middletown. That's what my one key of the game is going to be. Middletown needs to come back and keep that red zone defense. If they can keep that red zone defense, Newburgh is going to have no chance. I mean, the amount of intensity you see those Middletown players, those front five play with, is something that you don't see in a lot of schools. And it's awesome to see the drive. And some of those kids are going both ways. I mean, the drive of those kids, it's insane. I mean, that's what's going to win them this football game.
Absolutely. You know, you talk about what's going to win them the football game, and defense. Defense wins everything. They say it wins championships, but before the championship, defense will win you every game that you're in. Defense is what's keeping them in this game after an 11-minute start. Now, albeit Newburgh made some mistakes. They had some penalties, which is why they had the ball for 11 minutes and only came up with 3 points. That was sort of their setbacks there early on in the game. But for Middletown, they didn't have the first 11 minutes of the first quarter. Then they come back, and they hold the ball themselves for about 7.5 minutes deep into the second quarter, and they put up the first touchdown. So, you know, what we're seeing from both teams here, Ethan, and I like the way we're doing it, it's kind of an old-school football game.
Yeah.
You know, they're moving the ball downfield. We're seeing more passing from Middletown today than we're used to seeing.
Used to, of course.
Absolutely.
I mean, usually, like I said before, I mean, they come out in their wing tee, and they're just firing right off rip, just going at it. Today they came out, and they ran a whole shotgun the whole first drive. I mean, that's something you don't see Middletown doing. And I mean, I think that's what put the Goldbacks on their heels. It's like, oh my gosh, we sit here and we practice all week for this wing tee. We go over all these formations for this wing tee, and then they come out here in a shotgun formation. Like, what do we do? What do we do?
100%.
I mean, that'll take a defense coordinator's playbook and throw it right down the drain. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. It's so funny how easy and quick a game can be changed, because their whole mindset, Newburgh's whole mindset probably going into this game was wing tee, watch 15, watch 2, watch that every time. Then they come out in shotgun. It's like, uh-oh, what do we do now? Right. And that's how you can see why Middletown scored the first touchdown of the day, because Newburgh was not ready for this Middletown team and the way they're playing.
You know, and there's a few names that you normally see. You see JoJo Royale. They line up with more of a tight bunch set, and you see a lot of men in motion, a lot of wheel routes, motion sweeps, and RPOs to the outside running. But you're not seeing you don't hear Michael Culver's name too much today. Jelani Graham, not hearing too much Jelani Graham. It has been, listen, Calvin Perez is an exceptional player, and, you know, you love what he's doing, but he's just not in the norm of what they normally do. Also, our guy, Quentin Langlitz, you know, another name that he's been building up more this season. The first couple of weeks, Langlitz has been in the game. He's made some plays, but now we're starting to see him be more and more impactful and more involved on this offense. I want to see exactly in the second half. Look, they got the 4-point lead. We got about 8:30 to go here before we get into the second half, but I want to see if maybe we start to see more Jelani Graham. Now they start to just move the ball downfield a lot slower than what they were. They're not playing from behind. They get the ball to start the second half, and maybe they start doing maybe if NFA comes out there and they're ready for the pass play, you know, Middletown switches it up and they start that power running game, and it works out for them. We'll see what happens.
Definitely. I mean, Middletown has to come out and they have to use all their weapons. You know, Middletown can't be the team that uses just Jelani Graham or just Calvin Perez. They need to come out here and they need to use every single person, because if it matters, like, as much as it sucks to say, they have athletes at every position.
Absolutely.
I mean, Middletown has an athlete at every single position that I know, and I've seen them play one game, that they can make plays on any part of the field. And that is the scariest thing to go up against as a defensive coordinator. If you go out there and you're like, all right, we're going to spend this whole week, we're going to prepare for 15, we're going to prepare for 2, we're going to prepare for 4. and then number 5 comes out of nowhere.
Right.
And it's like what the heck, man? It's so hard for a defensive coordinator to actually put the plays together to stop all these kids. Middletown, I mean, you have 1,500 kids in your school. I mean, you're going to have athletes like this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I mean,
definitely.
the athletes they have this year, I mean, I see him as good as like what Rodney Bell used to do. I mean, I don't know if you were commentating when Rodney Bell played football, but Rodney Bell, one of the best Middletown running backs I think I have ever played against. And I mean, him, Anthony Bush, those kids.
Yes.
You're starting to see these kids start to look like the older Middletown alums who did just the exact same thing. Ran the ball, lowered their shoulders, and did everything possible to get a win. And I like that we're starting to see that with these Middletown kids now.
Yeah, certainly we have, and you know what, over the years we've seen this program build. Again, to this point, 2 years ago we had a bevy of seniors. Middletown had an excellent season, and now here we are again. We've regrouped 22 seniors on this team. Of course, one of the biggest seniors, you see him every week, Stephen Moncherry.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about his leadership on the line and what he does for both sides. Now this guy's out here throwing passes, converting on, 2-point conversions. I don't know. There's nothing the big man can't do out here on the field. I love to see it. But we're going to take a quick break. We got 6 minutes to go before we get back to some second half action. DJ McPherson, Ethan McElroy. We're going to talk more about what the Middies have to really do, especially in their pass game if they want to keep up, keep the turnovers down, and really put their foot on the pedal and take off in this second half. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Since November 1st, 2020, all motor vehicle passengers aged 16 and older must be restrained by a seatbelt. Seatbelt safety starts with you. Encourage others to wear their seatbelt every trip, every time. Increasing seatbelt and child safety seat use is the most effective way to reduce crash-related injuries and fatalities. A message brought to you by Orange County Traffic Safety Program and New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Paid for by ANAC through Stop DWI.
Hello there, Joe Daly here, inviting you to start your weekend mornings with me. We'll have all the latest news, Mike Spiel's forecast from the Weather Tower, Charlie North with Charlie's Chuckles, the Trivia Challenge, weekend happenings, and of course, the Hudson Valley's greatest hits. Join me every Saturday and Sunday morning from 8 until 12 noon, right here on the weekend morning show that sleeps in on the Hudson Valley's hometown station.
LEAD, Law Enforcement Against Drugs and Violence, is the most rapidly growing drug and violence prevention charity in the United States. By using an evidence-based, tested, and proven effective curricula taught by law enforcement and educators, LEAD's school-based anti-drug and anti-violence program empowers children to make the right decisions about drugs, violence, alcohol, and bullying. Learn more about LEAD at leadrugs.org or follow us at We Are LEAD. Sponsored by LEAD Incorporated.
This is Middletown High School football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio. We are at halftime here at NFA. Here where your hometown Middie Bears are taking on the Newburgh Goldbacks, and we have ourselves a halftime lead of just 4 points. It's 14-10. The Middies are up over Newburgh. DJ McPherson here with my guy, Ethan McElroy. Jeff Anderson joining us in our Wall Radio studios. It's been a great game so far, as me and Ethan were just talking about there. I mean, an 11-minute possession there in the first quarter for Newburgh, but it only yielded 3 points thanks to that great Middies defense there in the red zone. And, of course, Middletown comes back, and they answer. They answer with a 7.5-minute drive themselves. They come back, get the first touchdown of the game. They fail on the 2-point conversion. It's 6-3. Newburgh comes back, and they answer with a touchdown, 10-6. And then, of course, Middletown with the interception brought them back into goal line territory. And, of course, the last run there by our guy, Calvin Perez. Calvin Perez gets in for the score. Second rush touchdown. The first one was by JoJo Royale. And then the big 2-point conversion there by the big man, Stephen Moncherry, in the Wildcat. We thought he was going to run it for a second, steps up and gives like this Tim Tebow-esque little dump pass right over the line. And, man, what an amazing time there. It was to Clinton Langlitz. What an amazing game plan there in the first half for the Middy Bears, who get the ball back to start the second half in just over 2 minutes here to go. And I'll tell you right now, before Ethan McElroy joins us back again, you know, one of the things that we talked about and we're going to see from Middletown is more playmakers handling the ball. Not too much Michael Culver and Jelani Graham. That was a great game plan there to confuse the Goldbacks in the first half. I believe we're going to see more of those guys. We're going to see some Rudy Cherry carries and passes to number 24 out there. We're going to see some more Langlitz and who knows who else. Giovanni Bauernfiend was a part of this too, our guy G.O.B. G.O.B. was out there making some big plays, some big catches. So I believe that, you know, Ethan, you talked about it. Let's get in here real quick. 90 seconds to go before the second half starts. You know, you talked about all of the athletes that they have on this team. I just rifled off a few that some of them aren't even their mainline players. Second half, what are your thoughts? Does Middletown start to spread that ball out more, keeping Newburgh on their heels?
I think Middletown should come out the same way they did in the first quarter. I mean, it put Newburgh on their heels right away. I mean, coming out in that, I only say it because I know it playing against that Middletown team. You see them come out in something other than a wing tee, you have no clue what they're going to run because their 95% of their offense is the wing tee. Right. I mean, it is so hard as a defensive coordinator to figure out what they're going to do when they don't come out in the wing tee. So, I mean, I feel like they come out again in that, and they catch this Newburgh defense on their heels again. They show them, like, hey, we got more than just this one set of plays right here, you know?
Right. No, you're absolutely right. They have more than one set of plays. They have more than a set or two of playmakers on this team to get the ball around to. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we do here when we start the second half. Let's take a quick break before we get to the second half kickoff. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Halloween, Christmas, New Year's. As we enter the holiday and celebration season, ADAC and Orange County Stop DWI want to remind you that Orange County's social host law prohibits any adult 18 years of age or older from serving alcohol, cannabis, or other illicit substances on a property that they are in charge of. Not only is it illegal, but it's also unsafe and unhealthy to knowingly serve young people. Parents who host lose the most. For more information, visit adacinfo.com.
Time to get back to the action. It's Middies football on Wall Radio.
Back here to Middletown Football on Wall Radio after that last quick break. The teams are lining up, here, to start the second half where your hometown Middy Bears are up with a 4-point lead, 14-10 over the home team, the Newburgh Goldbacks, here as we share in celebration of their pink game day. It is their homecoming day as well. A lot of fanfare going on, a lot of pomp and circumstance before the game. It's great to see the community, the parents out here with all of the seniors. Before we get started, guys, don't forget you can listen to Wall Radio all week long. We got Kate Brannon in the morning. We are the greatest hits for Hudson Valley and Orange County, Hudson Valley's hometown station. Listen to us on 94.1, 105.7, 106.3, and on the Wall Radio app. Or if you're just on your computer or laptop, dig in, wallradio.com, or just hit us up on your smart speaker. Ask Siri, play Wall Radio. And here we go. We're lined up to start the second half where the Middy Bears are going to receive the ball. Up by 4. Big kick. Puts us back into the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback there for the Middies. And we'll start on the 20-yard line. Big kick there by Tejada, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was a boot, man.
Luis Tejada just putting some mustard on that each and every time, even on the extra points there. Tejada just has himself, he's got the iron leg, yeah. I'll tell you. And here comes the Middies offense, looking to, as we spoke about there at halftime, Ethan, keep their foot on the gas here with all that they do. I'm expected to see a little more Jelani Graham, but Graham is actually not out there lined up right now.
And they're coming out in the shotgun, too.
There it is. Again in the shotgun. Handoff, though. JoJo Royale, here it is to Quentin Langlitz. And Langlitz is going to be brought back for a short loss, just about a yard. Loss of a yard on the play, or maybe half a yard. It still looks like it's going to be 2nd and 10. No gain, they're calling it officially. Ball is still down at the 20-yard line. Middie Bears are, you talked about it. They looked a little flat there on that last drive of Newburgh where they scored, but they seem to pick it right back up here. JoJo Royale in a shotgun. 2 wide receivers here to the near sideline. Passing it way downfield. Has a man. Pass complete. And he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Now it's complete to Elijah Georges again, making another big play. Deep pass downfield of over 20 yards. Of 19 yards. Ball's going to be placed down at the 39. First down, Middies.
That's a great play right there. I mean, by the wide receiver. I mean, that safety should have turned his head a lot sooner. I mean, that if we really wanted to play it out how it should have, I mean, that safety should have picked that ball off. I mean, that ball was left up there to grab. I mean, he just never turned around to look for the ball. I mean, great play by the wide receiver to come back for it a little bit too.
Great awareness, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you said, great awareness. I mean, to come back and get his feet right and be able to catch that football, it was a great play.
Elijah Georges with a big first down, gain of 19 yards. 1st and 10 for the Middies. He's going to turn around. He's going to hand it off. This one was to Calvin Perez, and Perez only picks up about a yard. Ball's going to be down at the 40-yard line. 10:20 to go here. We're still very early in the third quarter. Middies are moving on the left hash to the left here out towards the main road. Up by 4 points, 14-10 over the Newburgh Goldbacks. We've already talked so much about what the implications of this game is for Middies, who lost their first game of the season last week, came in 3-1 against the 4-0 Newburgh Goldbacks. And here comes our guy, JoJo Royale, has a man in motion. Only one guy in the backfield. Elijah George is going to go across. It's going to be hands off to Calvin Perez. Calvin Perez makes it to the second level. Huge play. It was a gain of about 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 3 here for the Middies, setting up.
These are I wouldn't even call that these counters that Middletown runs. I mean, and the misdirection, sending a man all the way in motion as fast as possible to the right side, and then having Calvin Perez just take that quick little drop step back and going left. I mean, that confuses a defense like that, man. I mean, it'll make that defensive line have no clue what's happening one bit.
Elijah George is doing a lot out here today, being a big playmaker. This time 4 wide receiver, 2 stretched out to each sideline. And it's again to Elijah George's first down. George's to the 40. He's still going. He is brought down out of bounds, but he is ripped. That was a big play. And if the flag is thrown, Elijah Georges was not only brought out of bounds, but then he was ripped down. Just thrown to the ground as he was out of bounds. And that's going to be an extra 15 yards on already another 15 or more yard play by the Middies.
That's just not smart football. That's just undisciplined football right there by the Goldback defender. I mean, you got to understand, you got beat, man, but you can't let yourself get even more beat and allow another 15 yards. I mean, because you just allowed a probably 65-yard play. I mean, so you got to think about it that way. I mean, it's not even. It's just you got to think. You have to think.
That ball is going to be placed all the way down, Ethan. You're right about a 65-yard play. It's going to be placed on the Newburgh 17-yard line. Man, talk about started from the bottom. Now we hear. And it's JoJo Royale lining up again in shotgun. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each sideline. Starting from the right hash this time, JoJo looks around. He's going to pass it again down the middle of the field. And no, incomplete. And we're looking for a flag out there. Looks like there was a little bit of hands. Ball. That pass was intended. I believe that was George's out there this time. No, not George's. That was, Ramir Alexander.
No, I think it was Caden.
It was Caden. Yep. Caden. I need the binoculars. Where's Tommy when you need it?
It is hard to see from up here. I mean, Middletown's numbers too. They're a little scrunched together.
We're under an awning too. There's some fog out. There's a lot going on here, but we're working with it. I got my guy Ethan there. He's pointing out numbers. We got this thing today. It's going to be second and long here for Middletown, 8:45 on the clock. Middies up 14-10 over the Goldbacks, working towards their left. It's JoJo. He has pressure, and he throws it incomplete, throws it at the feet of the wide receiver. That one looks like that one was intended for Giovanni Bauernfein.
You know, those 5-yard outs are really working for Middletown, and I said that earlier in the game. I said they're going to be there because Newburgh is sending the house. So that means they have to play man. That means they can't go into zone because they don't have enough men to be in a zone.
Right.
So they're going straight up man. And if you, like I said, Middletown has those kids. I mean, that on Gio, that he's playing a 15-yard cushion.
And it's JoJo to the end zone again, and it's a touchdown. Middy Bears, G.O.B. for a big touchdown pass from JoJo Royale. Man, what a great play. 17 yards in the end zone. Middies up 10 points, 20-10 over the Goldbacks as we line up for the Mid-City Transit extra point.
See, man, I called it. I mean, they're playing that corner was just 15 yards off of Gio right there, and he let him cut right at the goal line, and that's when JoJo threw the ball. I mean, that I don't understand it right there. Like as like a defensive coordinator aspect, I mean, you're running man. Why are you having a 15-yard cushion? That doesn't make much sense at all. I mean, and then especially against one of the fastest kids on the Middletown team.
Someone who just made plays on this drive to get him there.
Exactly.
And scrap the Mid-City Transit extra point. It's a Mid-City Transit 2-point conversion. But just as they try to get that play going really fast, it is a false start. You're right, Ethan. And that's going to be on the Middies. You know, it looked like our guy Quentin Langlitz there was coming in motion, and somebody moved just as JoJo Royale tried to get that snap off.
Yeah, just like a miscadence, you know. It's just they see the guy moving, and they probably. I mean, Middletown is so precise with how they run their plays. They probably have a cadence for when a guy is passing the lineman, you know.
Right.
So like it's so. I bet you it's so hard for these kids to actually understand this Middletown offense, because I mean, sitting up here watching them play today, and then watching them play against Port, and then watching them play my whole life. I mean, I don't even understand the Middletown offense, and I've watched it for 20 years almost. So it's like it's very, very confusing. So it's just that's something that you gotta take with a grain of salt.
And we're taking a little bit of extra time after the penalty. It looks like there was a timeout called on the field. Yeah.
By Middletown or?
By Middletown. It says they only have the 2 timeouts unless they just didn't change that on the clock, and I'm not seeing something
I don't know.
else.
I think I might have heard the announcer say timeout Middletown too.
It was a timeout. Yep, that's exactly right. Here we go again. Mid-City Transit 2-point conversion. We're lining back up. Ball's placed on about the 4-yard line, and it's going to be a pitch to Langlitz, and Langlitz is brought down almost at the 10, beyond the 10-yard line. And it's a huge sweep handoff there. And Newburgh did not fall for it. Everybody stayed at home. Failed 2-point conversion, but Middies are still up by 10 points. 20-10. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Great service, great staff, great reputation. That's Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating, working hard to maintain that reputation they've built over the years. The Steve Dodd team is your go-to for exceptional service and maintenance of heating systems, water heaters, and water pumps. Their experienced, licensed, and insured professionals are here for you for simple repairs to full renovations. Call 845-386-2217 and have your heating system checked for the season. Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating. Call today.
Time to get back to the action. It's Middies football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio. Another touchdown by the Middy Bears. And I mean, just a great job there. That was JoJo Royale to G.O.B. down the middle. Big play there. We're up by 10, 20-10. 8:36 to go before we kick it off here. Middletown with a big lead and a big game here with huge importance and implications. Middletown gets the kick. They're going to field it at the 21. He's coming all the way back. He comes back to about the 35, the 40. He's at the 45. He's at the 50. Still going. He's in the 20. There's a flag on the field. Let's see what it was. And that was Bruce Montgomery. Montgomery brought it all the way back, but let's see. There is a flag on the field.
Block on the back.
We have to be patient. Let's see exactly what we have.
I was going to say that's probably one of the nicest kick returns I think I've seen all year. And if this comes back, I'm going to be a little
Over
sad.
60 yards there on the return. And no indication yet from our head referee, Troy Van Buren.
I'm pretty sure it was a block in the back.
And it is a block in the back on Newburgh. And you're starting to hear it went from cheers to jeers here from this home crowd.
Nice. Really quick.
Man, that's going to bring the ball back quite a bit after an over 60-yard return there by Bruce Montgomery.
That's not a spot foul, though, is it? It's just a
that's 15-yard from. He got down. He got pretty deep. He was almost inside the 10 there.
I was going to say he was close to the 10.
Yeah,
he probably went around like 12, 11.
He was close to a first and goal there, but it's going to be 1st and 10 here. Ethan, we're at the 25-yard line, left hash there to start for this offense, and it's Mason Hoover moving this team to the right. Great field position, though, to start, and they're going to hand it off to Tahir. It's Tahir Walker again. Walker picking up a good gain of about 4 yards on that. 4 yards on the carry. Ball's going to be placed down at the 19-yard line. 2nd and 6 here for the Goldbacks. 8 minutes to go. They're down by 10. It's a 20-10 game. Your hometown Middy Bears are up, which is a huge sign for Middletown, who came out, got the ball in the second half, and making all the right plays.
I was going to say, DJ, you see them, they're up 10, but I mean, these kids, the Middletown D-line, they're sitting there with their hands on their legs. I mean, it's not even, it's like they're exhausted.
And another running play here. Hoover to Tahir Walker. Walker gets to the level, pushes by a few defenders, keeps his legs churning, almost gets the first down, but it's going to be 3rd and 1 here for the Goldbacks.
That's a very, very tough spot. He was very close to that first down.
He was. It looks like they kind of pulled it. Listen, I thought Newburgh was getting all the favorable calls today, but
yeah, that one right there looked like it went a little bit towards Middletown right there.
Hey, the referees got to be partial, right? They got to be impartial, excuse me. Impartial referees. Mason Hoover, he's in the shotgun. Only 2 wide receivers this time stretched out. And of course to Tahir. Tahir gets the first down, and he's brought down inside the 10-yard line. No, just short of it.
Gosh, these Newburgh offensive linemen, man, they're just straight up dominating on that front line. I mean, they're winning every single time. They win, I would say, probably about 90% of these snaps so far. I mean, they're every single time they run the ball, you see at least 2 or 3 Goldback offensive linemen in the second level. And that is great. That is exactly what you want to see, especially with Middletown, how they run their 4-4 defense. Actually, it looks like they're in a 5-man right now.
Hoover in the shotgun again to number 4. Number 4 gets past the defender. He's barreling over guys. Tahir Walker.
Oh, my.
Excuse me, Tahir Walker down to the 2-yard line. Walker, after that first contact, lowers his shoulders, gets back up, rips the guy off of him, gets into the second defender, keeps on. He's like high-stepping, too. He keeps the knees high.
He looks like Todd Gurley running out there, man, bringing his knees all the way up like that.
And the ball's going to be down at the 3-yard line. 2nd and short here for the Newburgh Goldbacks, looking to march in the end zone. 5:45. They're down by 10. It's 20-10 the Middies. Here in the 3rd quarter, it's Hoover in the shotgun, hands it off to Tajir. Tajir gets close to the end zone. No, he's going to be brought down about the half-yard line.
See, DJ, it's Newburgh's playing like they're the ones that are winning the game right now. It's almost like it's like the scores have flopped in Middletown's head. It's like I mean, you have a 10-point lead. I mean, you have a 2-score lead right now. You should be playing with a little bit more fire. And then especially how we talked so much about this red zone offense. I mean, defense, sorry. This red zone defense Middletown has, they need a show here.
1st and goal.
Oh,
Hoover in the shotgun. It's a false start on the Goldbacks. You can see the tackle there just move that leg.
Yep.
Man, another bad break, another unfortunate penalty for Newburgh. And you know what, Ethan? They started the game with penalties. Even in that big 11-minute drive, there was penalties in that first drive.
Exactly. I mean, that's what's going to kill an offense right there is false starts. I mean, Yeah, we get it. You guys want to play. You want to hit somebody. But just calm down a little bit there, bud. Calm down.
You know, you're also, as an offensive lineman, you're down on the 1 yard line.
Oh, yeah, man.
You have to power up. It's goal line time.
Yeah, this is where you put 150% of your effort into it.
Absolutely.
And if you're not, why are you out there,
He was definitely leaning on it, got a little jumpy. Yep. Hoover out of the shotgun again. It's the number 4, Tajir. And Tajir is going to make some moves, gets past a couple of guys, and now here come the white shirts, finally getting around him. And I mean, what can you say? Tajir Walker, though.
Yeah.
I mean, in the midst of 5 guys around him, gets out of one tackle and starts spinning on guys, and nobody got him.
Yeah, and you see him still, just jumping with his feet, moving his feet everywhere. I mean, this kid is being worked like a horse right now, and you can see him out there right now.
Yes.
He's like, I want the ball. Feed me the rock.
He wants this touchdown. 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. NFA is down by 10. Middletown has the advantage here, 20-10 over the Goldbacks. Still working towards the right, towards the school. Hoover
I think they're going to throw
in a
here.
shotgun. And it's Tajir. No handoff to Walker. It's a pass. It's picked off. It's picked off at the 2-yard line by the Midi Bears. And he's brought down. Excellent play. And oh my God, there's flags on the field. And man, we're looking after everything breaks up. Who got that play? It looks like it was Michael Culver. No, was that number 10?
I think it was Kyle Scott again. I'm pretty sure that was 16 Kyle Scott. Yeah.
Number 16, yes, Kyle Scott with the interception. Let's see exactly what these flags are for on the field.
And you hear, I don't know if they hear over.
Oh, they can hear. There's an area.
Oh my gosh. This crowd is not happy with that
But
right
that
now.
was on Middletown.
Yeah, I was going to say that was definitely a personal foul on Middletown.
2 personal fouls on Middletown.
This is big right here for Middletown.
It's only going to give him half the distance to the goal line. It does not negate the interception. It's a first down for the Midi Bears. They are just starting deep in their own territory.
I mean, they should be starting on their half-yard line.
But they're starting on the 2. Another gracious give there by the referees, and we thank our referees, Lou.
Nope,
River,
they're starting on the half line. They're starting on the half-yard line. There we go.
Lou River, if so, and Troy Van Buren still doing a great job today. And we thank them for being here with us, giving our point of contact.
This is where Middletown's offense, their original offense, comes into play because the misdirection and going back and forth right here, how they run these false motions.
Langlet's in motion. It looks like everybody on Newburgh is trying to move. And again, it's right up the middle. This time with just a quick turnaround handoff. That one was to Perez. Perez picks up about 2, and they get off that half yard mark.
I'm telling you, DJ, these false motions will confuse that defense so easily because you see one guy running as fast as possible, then he just stops. You're thinking, oh, he's going to come back, so the ball's probably about to get snapped, so you're about to go, and that's what you saw right there. I mean, they didn't cross over into the neutral zone, but they were pretty close. I mean, that Middletown offense, I mean, with the way they run it, it's so easy to get lost. You know,
Royale
it's so
under
easy to get
center,
lost.
so easy. Royale under center, turns around and hands it off again. We're at the second level. Does he get the first down? No, but close enough to it. That's a 7-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and short. That one was carried by Quentin Langlitz. Excellent job there by number 4. It's going to be 3rd down and 1 yard to go. 2 minutes, 30 seconds here to go in the third quarter before we get to the 4th and final quarter. Middletown with a big 10-point lead. Here comes Royale under center, turns around, hands it off, and Middies have another first down for the Midi Bears. Excellent job there by this Middletown offense, just matriculating the ball. Coming from the half-yard mark, this ball is now placed down on, it looks like the 14-yard line, and they are moving the chains. It looks like Middletown is going to go back to that original game plan and do a lot of what we saw NFA do in the first quarter there, just ground and pound and controlling the clock here. You have a 10-point lead, nothing else to do.
Yeah, nothing to worry about, man. I mean, especially with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. I mean, you can run this third quarter out by just running the ball right here.
JoJo Royale keeping it under center again. And all the motion confuses somebody. Let's see, and they're going to call it a false start. It's going to be, unfortunately, a false start against the Middies. And we are starting to get a little bit of drizzle out here. We're starting to get a little weather. Let's see how this thing turns out. Turns out with 1:47 seconds here to go before we get to the fourth quarter. Starting to get a little weather. It's light so far, so I'm not going to run. First down, 15 yards to go. You know, this game has been a big story of this game besides the play on the field, Ethan, is the penalties that have come along with it.
I mean, they're honestly, they're changing the game more than the players are right now. I mean,
absolutely.
With Middletown,
100%.
I mean, getting another 5-yard loss.
And here they go. They turn it around again. Perez is marching and moving. Gets past to the original line of scrimmage and some. A big 8-yard play there by Calvin Perez. And that's going to bring up second.
I mean, Calvin Perez being 5'9", 175 pounds. I mean, that is insane, man. I mean, you don't see much of those kids running through lines like that and being able to pick up those second-level yards, you know?
Lower center of gravity there. I always hated going up against the shorter running backs.
Oh,
it was always an issue. They just so twitchy there.
They just bounce right off you. And
right.
It's like, come on. Like, what the heck?
Langlitz in motion, turns around, hands it off to Perez. Perez moving to the second level. First down. He's brought down out of bounds. Here comes another flag.
That's
he was brought down out of bounds. And again, no, that was on Newburgh. Again, just rips him down to the ground unnecessarily.
See,
after
DJ,
he's out of bounds. And a big costly penalty again for the goalbacks.
I think right there as a ref, you have to look at it as the game. I mean, he's right there. He's running along the edge after he just broke a tackle. I mean, you're going to try your hardest to throw him out of bounds. I mean, I think that is right there. That is a very I feel like the ref was holding his flag right there, waiting for something close to a personal foul, because in my eyes, right there, he's running up and down the sideline. He just broke a tackle.
Right.
Grabbing a man and trying to throw him out of bounds isn't bad. I definitely see what they did with Kyle Scott all the way down at the end of the field. That play was terrible. I mean, that was just blatant.
But he was already out of bounds. It was a little unnecessary with the force. I'm going to say I agree with that one, but I do hear you out. I hear you out, Ethan.
With what you're saying with the force, I understand that with the amount of how he did it. But I feel like what he did in that moment was not a personal foul. I mean, he's just trying to get the guy out of bounds. I mean, he's breaking tackles left and right. I mean, if you have to grab a guy to throw him out of bounds, you have to grab a guy to throw him out of bounds.
And as another play, it was JoJo Royale turning around and handing it off there to Calvin Perez. Calvin Perez picks up 2 yards, and we are at 11 seconds to go here. They're going to try to run one last play before we get to the fourth quarter. Langlitz is in motion. It's JoJo under center. I think they're just trying to get the defense to move, and that's going to bring us to double zeros. That is it for the third quarter. As we move into the fourth and final quarter, your hometown Midi Bears are up by 10 here on the road against Newburgh. 20-10 over the Goldbacks. We're going to come right back, and it's time to close out this game on the road. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
So, Benjamin, what seems to be the problem?
I need you to unhinge my jaw.
I'm sorry, uncinch your bra?
No, I need you to unhinge my jaw.
He had one of those deliciously huge deli sandwiches from Shortstop Deli on East Main Street in Middletown.
Oh, unhinge your jaw. Got it, okay. Those are tasty.
Got a huge hunger? You need Shortstop Deli, open every day, 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. Everything is served fast and fresh by Russ and the gang. Shortstop Deli, Shutt Road and East Main in Middletown.
This is Middletown High School football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio. We are in the fourth and final quarter here of a big game on the road. Middletown Middies up 10 points, 20-10 over the Newburgh Goldbacks. We talked about Ethan all day long, DJ McPherson, Ethan McElroy here. We talked about Ethan all game long, how important this game is for Middletown. If they can come away with this win, have both teams at 4-1, sitting for a tie at top of the division, I mean, it's going to spell out big things for Middletown moving into the rest of the season with a softer schedule.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's huge right here. If Middletown can pull this win out, I mean, this is going to change the Class AA standings a lot right now.
And JoJo turns around, hands it off to Calvin Perez. Perez gets about 3 yards before he takes a big shot. and it's only going to be about a 2-yard gain. Ball's going to be placed down at the 47-yard line. 2nd and 5 here for the Middy Bears as we start the 4th and final quarter, up 10, and a very meaningful mid-season, regular season game here for the Middies.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way Middletown came out this second half. They're really firing right now. I mean, they came out and they're like, you know what? We're starting at our own half-yard line. We're going to move this ball, and that's what they're doing.
JoJo Royale under center all second half, been under center as opposed to how we started this game. It's a handoff to Calvin Perez. Calvin picks up close to the first down. It's about 4 yards, but it's going to bring up 4th and short here for the Middies, just beyond midfield.
Looks like they're going to go hurry up, too.
But they're going to try to hurry it up and see where we can get going. Are they going to draw the defense off?
I think so.
Let's see what they want to do.
Either that or just go back to the play you just ran. I mean, the play you just ran got you those 3 yards.
And that's Coach Strenfield on the far sideline. He's signaling something over here to his signal caller. 10:45, the clock is ticking. So is the play clock. And he's going to hand it off again, and it looks like he barrels through. It's a first down for the Middy Bears.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what Strenfield has to do. You got to try to catch these guys off sides, and then if you don't see that working, run what you've been running this whole drive. I mean, every time you run the ball on this drive, you're getting 4 or 5 yards. Why not keep running the ball? I mean, and you're going to start eating up all the clock. You're already up 10 points. You might as well. It's very smart by Coach Strenfield right now.
Coach Strenfield, just a mastermind game plan all day long. I mean, and they started this game deep in a hole, letting up 11 minutes. But Newburgh with some penalties there that cost them, and Middletown's defense, I mean, you can't say enough about it, only letting up 3 points on that drive.
Yeah.
Here comes JoJo and the rest of his offense. Turning around to hand it off again, and it's Perez. He's going to pick up a few yards on this one. It looks like it's about a gain of 4. Going to be 2nd and 6. This ball is going to be placed on about the 38-yard line.
If Newburgh wants his ball back, they're going to have to change something up. I mean, Middletown, the way they're running right now, they can run the ball all night. They are, like I said, if you take over the run game in a football game, you win. You're already giving yourself a 99% chance of winning the football game. Because look at this. I mean, you see Newburgh switching up their defense every single time they come out here.
Yes.
But they're still not able to stop this run.
Not getting much penetration, which is saying a lot here against the Middy Bears. And I mean, I love the switch up. First half, all shotgun. Second half, all under center here, keeping it tight. JoJo Royale's going to take it this time, but there's a flag before we get it going. And it is going to be the unfortunate false start. We've seen that on both sides all night, Ethan.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams going up against each other, they've been chippy all game. I mean, so you don't expect these kids to be just sitting on their heels, you know? So, I mean, false starts are one thing. I mean, personal fouls, those are just unnecessary. I mean, Newburgh having multiple of those, that's just unnecessary. But these false starts and stuff, I mean, it's just simple little mental mistakes that you can fix very easily.
Very easily. You know what? I call those things concentration penalties, especially when you're on the line. I had an old coach at St. John's. He would always say it's a concentration penalty when you're not focused on that ball. Again, turns around, hands it off. This time I think that was Langlitz. No, not Langlitz.
I think it was still
another one
Perez,
to Perez.
Yeah.
Perez again being the workhorse today.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we had Tommy here to see how many times this guy has run the ball already. Because, I mean, in this second half, I think he's probably touched the ball about 15 times already.
Unofficially, Langlitz has over 25 carries, but I think that is official enough to say he's got over 25.
Yeah, exactly. It is definitely official enough to say that.
I'm not officially statting the game, but yes, he does have over 25 carries to my count. 8:07 here to go in the closeout quarter. It's 3rd and long for the Middies from a 45-yard line. And he's going to turn around. JoJo's going to pass it downfield. Has a man. It's Elijah Woods, and he's got it. First down inside the 20-yard line. Elijah Woods down to the 18. Amazing. Elijah Georges. What a great catch, looking over his back shoulder.
Yeah.
I mean, Ethan, what can you say?
Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful. And right there by JoJo, he had 2 wide receivers wide open on that play. I don't know if you saw the tight end. He was wide open coming closer to us. I mean, he had both options, but he also had 6 different goalbacks in his face. So to get rid of that ball and just throw it up and trust your receiver, that's awesome. I mean, that's all you can ask for out of your quarterback.
Yeah, and Elijah George's heads-up play, running downfield. The ball was just a little behind him, still came up over his back shoulder, got the ball from the defender who could have made a play on it. We have a first down for the Middies on the 18. And, of course, we're going to run it. It's Calvin Perez. Calvin Perez is just making his way through a lot of blue shirts right now. He's going to be down at the 10-yard line. Pickup of about 3. 7 minutes to go here. Middies up by 10. This is an exciting atmosphere, especially on that visitor sideline right now.
Perez coming up a little limp right there. I mean, it looks like he's favoring that right ankle a little bit, so I'd watch out for that. I don't think they're going to be going back to him this play.
Unfortunately, a lot of that stuff could happen when you're taking on a heavy workload.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 15 carries in one drive, I mean, it's not your fault.
Let's see exactly what we have here. Perez, the only man in the backfield. Perez gets the handoff. Perez gets a few good yards on that play. And that's going to bring the ball down to about the 6-yard line. Third and short for the Middy Bears. 6:15 here to go. Don't be concerned if you heard the sirens. That was just a passing emergency. Everyone is safe here at the great homecoming game here at NFA. And again, salute to NFA for the Pink Game Day. Don't forget, guys, the greatest hits for Orange County and the Hudson Valley. Hudson Valley's hometown station is Wall Radio. And you can catch Kate Brandon in the morning, weekdays, Monday through Friday on Wall Radio. You can listen to us on 105.7, 94.1, 106.3, or just check us out on your smartphone on the Wall Radio app, or if you're on the computer, wallradio.com. Here come the Middies on a 3rd and short. It's Calvin Perez. Calvin Perez trying to pick up something here. Does he get it? Doesn't get the first down.
I don't even think he got a yard on that.
One referee is inside the 5, Ethan. The other one outside. I see the guy on the far end going back and forth.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even know where to stand.
I don't know where to call
the ball. So they are
going
to put it on. So it looks like he gained probably half a yard.
So he gains half a yard. The ball is going to be placed down officially inside the 5 here, after the referee was two-stepping around there.
This is 4th down right here. This is big.
Big 4th down.
This is big for this Newburgh defense. They have to really come out here right now. This is the game. I mean, if Middletown gets in the end zone one more time, they go up 3 touchdowns. That's game. I mean, it's no matter how good you are, no matter how bad the other team is, you're up 3 touchdowns. That's right there. You're signing you're waving your white flag.
Right.
Sorry.
Excuse me, but with 4 minutes 45 seconds to go, the clock is ticking. JoJo sending men in motion, this time Rudy Cherry. Langlitz and Cherry. We got number 15 in the backfield. It could have gone to Jelani Graham, but no, they're going to call a timeout.
Ooh, I mean, they just switched up their whole entire running back. I mean, they just took Perez right out of the equation right there. I mean, I think Newburgh kind of thought that they were going to go to 15 right there. I mean,
why would you not?
Why? I mean, you have to. I mean, if you're taking out the guy who's literally gotten you every single one of these yards on this drive, and now you're putting in another kid, you got to think that you're going to be going to 15. I mean, he's their big man. He is the guy that can take those couple hits and still get the first down. So, I mean, if I'm Newburgh right now, I'm keying 15. Or I'm keying those tight ends, just like what happened down here on this play right here where JoJo had that huge completion. I'm keying a play like that, something where a tight end's going to leak out, a wide receiver's going to leak out, one of those wing tight men are going to leak out, but they have to really stay home here, Newburgh, because if they don't, they might be giving up the game.
You know what? You're 100% right on that one, and also keying on other guys. We've seen Giovanni Bauer-Fiend. He's got a touchdown. He's been making big plays. They've got some guys who you don't know where they can spread this ball around.
There he is, lined up all the way left.
That's GOB lined up left, but more importantly, behind JoJo Royale, the big man, number 15, Jelani Graham. After the timeout, 4:31 here to go. It's 4th down and short. Hands it off to Jelani Graham. Graham inside the 5, touchdown, Middy Bears, and that's going to seal the deal tonight, 26-10, as we line up for the Mid-City Transit extra point.
Yeah, that right there, I mean, Newburgh didn't even come firing off that ball. I mean, you saw they're on our side, their right end. He didn't even fire off the ball. He got blasted back, and that's where, that's where Jelani Graham just went and scored. Right where that guy who took 5 seconds to get out of his stance just got blown up. That's just That's just bad.
Excellent job by Jelani Graham. Excellent job here by this Middies offense as we line up for the Mid-City Transit extra point, 26-10.
Looks like they're going to go for it, too.
Oh, no, the Mid-City Transit two-point conversion again all game long. JoJo's going to pass it to his left, and it's complete. Good job by Calvin Perez getting that. It's 28-10. The Middies are up by almost 20 points with 4:12 to go in the closeout quarter, all but ending this very important game here for Section 9 supremacy. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come right back. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Ready to buy your Hudson Valley dream home? Now you can achieve your dream and enjoy a great rate from Rhinebeck Bank. Summer is the best time to get moving with a great Rhinebeck Bank mortgage and then get moving into your perfect place. No hoops to jump through, no kidding. Apply today and start your house hunting. Just go to rhinebeckbank.com/mortgage and get started. It's that easy. Rhinebeck Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS number 477976. Your home, your dream, your bank. Rhinebeck Bank.
Serving Ulster, Dutchess, and Orange counties. This is the Hudson Valley's hometown station. WALL, Middletown, New York, USA. This is Middletown High School football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here on Wall Radio, where we have the commanding lead. 28-10 here on the road at NFA against the rival Newburgh Goldbacks as Middletown lines up the kick. And it's going to be a squib kick touched by Newburgh, but man, they get back at it. And that ball is going to be down at about the 38-yard line. It looks like one of the Newburgh players, one of the guys in the front line there for Newburgh, hit that.
Yeah, it's like
didn't look like he was supposed to.
I think he tried to catch it. Like
I
don't even think it was just him sticking out his arm. I think he literally tried to catch that ball. Yeah, look, I mean, you could just tell by the demeanor of these Newburgh kids. They're walking off the field, and they look defeated already. I mean, yeah, it's 28-10, but there's still 4 minutes left in this football.
And you're at home, and it's your homecoming game.
Exactly.
And it's the we're celebrating the cause of breast cancer awareness. There's still a lot to play.
Exactly.
You always play for your pride, no matter what the score is, especially at home. And here comes Hoover. Lining up. He's got a trip to the left, here to the near sideline. Hoover's looking to pass, and he does. Pass complete. And he's got a first down there. Big completion. Middletown trying to bring him down. The ball's loose. The ball's loose, and the Middies have it, and it's coming back the other way. Coach Strenfield is jumping up and down, exclaiming on the sideline. You know what that means. Under 4 minutes to go. We're up by 18. I can't believe it, Ethan.
That just sealed it. That just sealed this game. Wow. That's big. That is big, man. Let's see if they give him this ball, though.
Man, and you see people starting to leave. I'll tell you what, in the words of Carl Winslow to Steve Urkel all those years, go home, go home, go home. It looks like the Middies have sealed this deal today with 3:59 to go. Here comes that Middy Bear offense up by 18 points.
I don't think so. Nope. Newburgh offense still out there.
They gave the Newburgh offense the ball. What?
I think he recovered that ball out of bounds. I think when that ball was starting to roll towards that sideline, I think he grabbed it and was out of bounds.
Coach
I don't know.
Strenfield
if I was Strenfield, I'd be
feels
livid.
a certain way about that. But Hoover's going to roll out to the left. They still have the ball, and that's incomplete, out of bounds. And it looks like he was going for one of his bigger playmakers on that one. No dice on the pass. Incomplete. Man, Hoover just tried to roll out, get that ball out. Had a speedy receiver. It looks like that was Xavier Sill on that one. The senior D-back and wide receiver just couldn't keep it in bounds. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Ball is placed down officially at the 50-yard line. I think in all the excitement, we didn't see that they gave it back to the Newburgh Goldbacks. Still, Middletown up by 18. Doesn't change the fact
that you're up 3 touchdowns.
Right.
Does not change it at all. I mean, Newburgh has to come out here and they got to do something. I mean, they got some big kids on these outside. I mean, number 3 over there all the way lined up on the right side. They should be
it's
looking
Mason
to throw
Hoover
it to him.
looking to pass. He's rolling out to the right. Has a guy. Pass is complete. It's a first down, but there's laundry here on the field. I see yellow flags.
Might be a hold.
It looks like it's more of in the defensive backfield, but it could be. We'll see what happens. The play could have developed, and there could have been a hold.
Holding.
And it's
Defense.
holding on the defense.
Decline, yeah.
Troy Van Buren is calling it holding on to defense. They're going to decline because he did pick up the first
Yeah,
down
you got
on
the
that.
first, and you got a lot of yards on that. You have to decline that right there. I mean, you got to go for the points now. I mean, you got to take whatever you can get. And I mean, right there, I mean, you got a 15-yard gain before the flag was even thrown. So
Newburgh coming downfield. Some advantages here with penalties and some turnovers that bounce back their way as Mason Hoover in the shotgun, 4 wide receiver. Hoover's looking downfield, being patient with it, gets the pass off, it's complete. He's at the 25, and he gets down to about the 21-yard line. Great play there. Again, that was Xavier Sill on the reception, coming out here all the way to the left. Getting a first down for the Newburgh Goldbacks as they get into the hurry-up offense. One man in the backfield. Of course, it's Tajir Walker, but Hoover's going to throw. He got a pass. It's complete, and he's going to get brought down at about the 5-yard line. I think that was Quincy Mon's time.
I think Newburgh just called a timeout.
And
oh, they got to reset the
and
chain.
no, they're going to reset the clock. I thought that they called one. That pass was to Juan Rivas.
Why? I don't like that play call right there.
And let's see exactly what this was.
No, he just spiked it.
A spike, right? But I thought
stop the clock. 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 Spike. 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 Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Spiked. He spiked it.
Well, you know what? It looks like we can't change what's going on up here, but clearly there's a clock malfunction today. This one bigger than any other.
Yeah, this is bad. This is you're losing a minute right now. You got to stop this clock.
We're gonna let these guys fix this clock situation. Here we go. All right. And the clock needs to be reset about 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30. I mean, I would think almost a minute, DJ. That was.
Yeah, we certainly got some time on that one.
If anything, he clocked it at like 3:04.
Yeah, that was a huge difference there, and I mean, man.
Sorry for everyone at home. I was
it's all
I was just like, what the heck? Why are they not stopping this clock? And why are they not putting more time on it?
And they're going to sit here and deliberate for just a couple of minutes trying to figure out what's going on with the clock. Nope, we got back here. 3:04. You're absolutely spot on,
there
Ethan.
Yeah.
It was 3:04 when they clocked it, and it is now officially back on the clock. I was about to get us out of here, take a break before we figured it out, but they figured it out pretty quickly. Great job here by these guys doing the best that they can here working this clock tonight. It's not easy. It's not easy. High pressure situation in this game. 3:02 is going to be where this thing starts as we come back into action. And it's Hoover again in the shotgun. It's going to be a handoff to Walker. Walker gets in for a Newburgh touchdown, and that's going to give them 6 more points. Still at a big deficit. They're down by 12, but that's going to be 16 for Newburgh. 28-16 as the Goldbacks line up for the Mid-City Transit extra point. Or, Ethan, maybe they go for 2 on this.
I think you do go for 2. I mean, you're down 18. What do you have to lose, DJ? I mean, it's either go for it or go home, you know?
Absolutely. No, they're going to line up for the kick. And it's Luis Tejada.
I mean, this puts them down 11 if they make this. Puts them down 11. That gives them 2 minutes and 58 seconds to get the ball back twice.
I'm expecting an onside kick here.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's just prepare for that. Here's Luis Tejada for the Mid-City Transit extra point, not going for 2 here as Middletown has done all game. Tejada is up, and it is big and it's good out there to the main road. Great job by Luis Tejada. That's 17 points there for the Newburgh Goldbacks, still down by 11. 28-17. Middletown is up. 2 minutes, 58 seconds to go in the final quarter of this huge game for the Middies. We'll be right back. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Mid-City Transit is a proud supporter of the Middletown High School football team. And right now, they're looking for drivers to join their team. To apply today, visit midcitytransit.com. Since 1935, Mid-City Transit has been transporting the children of the Middletown School District, always committed to providing those children with a safe and reliable bus service. Mid-City Transit is also available for charters, wedding shuttles, family reunions, and trips. Everyone at Mid-City Transit wishes the Middletown High School football team good luck this season. Go Middies!
Time to get back to the action. It's Middies football on Wall Radio.
Back to Middletown football here in the final quarter of a big game at NFA. Middletown up 28-17 over the Newburgh Goldbacks. Man, we came into town today against an undefeated team. Luis Tejada, after the Newburgh touchdown, is set to kick. It looks like it is going to be an onside. Tejada gets it, and Middletown has it. And it's going to be down at the 50-yard line. The Middies have the ball. Great recovery there by the Hands team. And Ethan, it looks like it's not going to be time for a victory formation yet, but one first down here is all the Middy Bears need. And we have taken a huge road game over, I call them the division bully here, for well over a decade. We all know about Newburgh's prowess here and how they've dominated this division. We're taking a huge game here on the road, and we're going to go to 4-1 at the end of this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is big for Middletown right here. I mean, coming out, especially after losing last week to a AA school, and then coming back this week and beating an even better AA school. I mean, that's just it's unheard of. I mean, you don't see teams getting blown out by teams who they're worse than, and then coming back and beating a team they're better than. It's just insane.
Let's see what Middletown wants to do, lining up in a bunch formation. Turns around, hands it off. This one is to Calvin Perez. Perez with a great gain there, a 5-yard gain there for Calvin Perez. Oh, no, excuse me. We got Jelani Graham, and Jelani Graham is back in. And I think this is where we're going to see Graham finish off the game. We didn't see him much today. Jelani Graham could finish off this game after a 5-yard carry, 2nd and 5 here from the Middies, and just take this home with a little more ground and pound, which we've seen a lot of from both sides today.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do right now for Middletown is just get the ball into your playmakers' hands and get the ball to someone you know who can pick up 3 yards. That's all you need.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't need to worry about people breaking off touchdowns right now. No, you need a first down. That's all you need.
One first down would really seal the deal here. Now, I know there's still a lot of time off. We just had a timeout called by Newburgh. Middletown with 1 timeout left. Newburgh just used 1 of their 3, so they have 2 left. I anticipate they're going to use the other 2 somewhere on this drive here.
I would say right after this next play, because Middletown, of course, is going to run the ball after this next play. I mean, right after this next play, I say they're going to call another timeout. And then if Middletown doesn't get the first down, I think they call a timeout. If Middletown gets the first down, I think they might let the clock go because, I mean, if the Middletown picks up this first down, this game's over. So, I mean, it's right then and there you gotta make the decision as coaches if you're going to keep trying to stop this game or just let it play off.
You don't want to see anybody get hurt, but you don't want to show I don't know exactly the words, but you don't want to show any let up on your team, especially from a leadership position there. Jojo Royale has Rudy Cherry. He hands it off to Jelani Graham. Graham is brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Graham trying to make something happen, and he is quickly stuffed there. It looks like he gained 1 yard. It's going to be 3rd and 4. They're calling it 5.5. I say it looks about 4 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 4 here.
Yeah.
And another timeout, just like you said there, leaves both teams with 1 timeout left.
Well, now this is a sticky situation. I mean, Middletown has to pick up this first down.
They do.
And if Middletown doesn't pick up this first down, you're giving them a lot of time to score. So I mean,
still a 2-score game, I'll admit, but there's plenty of time left if you can make a big play or two.
And then with the teams that the kids these teams have, this game can change in a snap, in an instant. I mean, you throw the ball up to that big kid, number 16 on Newburgh, and he mosses a guy for 50 yards. I mean, that changes the whole entire game, whole entire dynamic of the game right away. I mean, it's it's so hard as these defensive coordinators. Like, these defensive coordinators don't get as much respect as they deserve because, like, man, having to go up against, like, this wing T, I mean, right there, and solid gain of three or four.
As Royale turns around, hands it off to Jelani Graham, and he gains about 3 yards. And they're going to, Newburgh, is going to use their final timeout. So with 2:42 to go, Middletown up 28-17 on the road over the Newburgh Goldbacks, and Newburgh is going to use their final timeout. And it's a 4th and short for Middletown. 4th and short, but I am sure, Ethan, number 15 is going to get dialed up. Maybe not just a straight direct in the, or maybe number 2, but maybe not a straight like A gap run, no. Right up in the O gap.
Definitely going to go with the misdirection.
Exactly.
And how they usually get their big first downs. What Middletown does is they like to send their one guy in motion, get that rapid stop, send the other guy in motion, get that rapid stop, and then send another guy in motion, and then fake the handoff to him and give a counter on the right side. So, I mean, it's just there's so much stuff Middletown can do with their offense based out of that wing T that I'm going to keep saying it's so hard to be defense coordinator against these two teams. It's so hard because they have the kids to make any play possible, and it's awesome. It's beautiful watching.
And Middletown doing an amazing job, over 25 points here against one of the top defenses in Section 9. And here they go, man in motion.
1,
Rudy Cherry,
2.
Second man in motion. They're saying that Newburgh is moving. They're trying to get him to move. Jelani Graham this time in motion. Middletown, it looks like Strenfield's out in the field. He's going to call his final timeout now. Back-to-back timeouts. Nobody's got any more timeouts. 11-point game with 2:42 here to go.
That's big.
It's a tenuous situation now, even with a big lead by the Middies. I mean, a 2-score game, and they're starting to slow this thing down. This is probably the biggest play of the game.
Oh, yeah, right
Even
here.
of all the big plays we've seen, even with a big 11-point lead. This play right here, if it does not go the way for Middletown, we're going to see the tides turn. And I'm telling you right now, this Goldback offense is going to come out screaming.
And they're going to come out firing, man.
Yes.
They're going to come out because, I mean, right now they don't even think they're going to get the ball back. I mean, well, hopefully they do think they're going to get the ball back. But right now there's a great chance they don't get the ball back. So I know, I mean, as you were once a high school football player too, I mean, you get the ball back and you're down 2 touchdowns. You're like, oh, yeah, baby, we want to win this game. Like,
Absolutely.
we're going out there and we want to win this game. So, I mean, Middletown has every force against them right now.
Right.
Because if Middletown doesn't get this first down, you give a fully hyped up Newburgh team the chance to go down the field and score. Especially, you don't even have any timeouts. I mean, you just blew your last timeout trying to get them to jump off sides.
Right.
So, I mean, it's gonna come down to this play. I mean, like you said, this is gonna be the biggest play of the whole game right here.
And this is it. It all comes down to this play with 2:42. Middletown up 28-17 over the Goldbacks. Rudy Cherry's in motion. JoJo Royale under center. G.O.B. in motion. Jelani Graham has a first down, and that is going to seal the deal for the Midi Bears. Ball's going to be placed down at the 36-yard line. And here today at NFA, last year the place where the the Midi Bears season ended in the playoffs there after amazing performances by this team and senior Deontay Johnson and so many others. Middletown gets a bit of redemption in a big game here today.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to tie this, and they're going to level the playing field 4-1 today. We're lined up in victory formation already. Coming up to the 2-minute mark, 8 seconds to go here on the play clock. Officially under 2 minutes on the game clock, and he's going to take a knee. Newburgh looking like they tried to get in there and maybe make a play happen.
A little chippy on that.
It gets a little, hey, listen, it's Middletown, Newburgh. This game starts chippy. It ends chippy. It is chippy. It's chippy between these communities. I lived this thing, played in this game for four years on varsity. I played up against the Newburgh Goldbacks, and I'll tell you right now, man, it just never gets any easier. It never gets any, I guess, less. The situation is always tenuous. It's just tense always between these two communities. And you love to see good games played when you come out here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially against two AA schools. I mean, you love seeing games like this, games that are that are hard-nosed football up until, I mean, one team just shows out a little bit more than the other. I mean, that's what we saw here tonight. I mean, Middletown came out firing in the second half, and they were ready to play football.
They were, and they just kept their foot on the gas. The second kneel down by JoJo Royale, and you can really start to hear it now from the Middies faithful over there. 1:20 to go. The clock is winding down. Some players already out there exchanging hugs and pounds after the throwdown. And it's just beautiful to see the sportsmanship between two schools that just, I mean, you talk about the angst between them, the rivalries, the tension, the tenacity, all of those T words I could throw out right now. But you know what? It's always about team. Both teams on both sides, they're playing for their communities. This time we had to come up 84 East to play the Newburgh Goldbacks. Like I said, a place where our season ended last year. And with 9 seconds to go here on the play clock, it's third down, 34 seconds on the game clock. We're going to take this final kneel down, and that will be it. That will be it officially. We're going to let this clock run down. The Middy Bears are starting to celebrate, and we came here to NFA in Newburgh to do it, and we got a big win on the road. 28-17. Your hometown Middy Bears take a big game here in Newburgh with a huge win after a loss last week. We're going to go home 4-1, and we're going to be tied for the lead in the division. What a great game. We're going to come right back with our post-game wrap-up. DJ McPherson, Ethan McElroy. You're listening to Middletown Football on Wall Radio, brought to you by the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program.
Great service, great staff, great reputation. That's Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating, working hard to maintain that reputation they've built over the years. The Steve Dodd team is your go-to for exceptional service and maintenance of heating systems, water heaters, and water pumps. Their experienced, licensed, and insured professionals are here for you for simple repairs to full renovations. Call 845-386-2217 and have your heating system checked for the season. Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating. Call today.
So, Benjamin, what seems to be the problem?
I need you to unhinge my jaw.
I'm sorry, uncinch your bra?
No, I need you to unhinge my jaw.
He had one of those deliciously huge deli sandwiches from Shortstop Deli on East Main Street in Middletown.
Oh, unhinge your jaw. Got it, okay. Those are tasty.
Got a huge hunger? You need Shortstop Deli, open every day, 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. Everything is served fast and fresh by Russ and the gang. Shortstop Deli, Shutt Road and East Main in Middletown.
Time to get back to the action. It's Middies football on Wall Radio.
Back here to the Middletown football post game on Wall Radio. DJ McPherson, Ethan McElroy, and our guy in studio today. I mean, we just had a great day. Jeff Anderson joining us in our Wall Radio studios. What a great game here by the Middletown Middy Bears, coming on the road to NFA to close out a huge win, 28-17 over the Goldbacks. And Ethan, let's wrap this bad boy up. Let's just talk about it. Middletown had a 10-point lead at halftime. It was 20-10. Let's talk about everything that they did right to come out here and really finish this all-important game.
I mean, I'll start off one. Their offense was spectacular in the second half. I mean, they came out in their shotgun formation, and they showed what they usually don't show, and they did what they had to do, but then they switched back to their wing tee. And then when they got back to their wing tee, they started running the ball. And they literally took over, I think, almost 95% of that fourth quarter by just running the football. I mean, that was awesome by Coach Strenfield and that offensive line coach, just to tell the boys, yo, we're gonna be running the ball a lot. I want you guys to put your hands in the ground and play smash nose football, and we're going to win this game. And that's what they did. I mean, that offense came out, and they played like they wanted to win. And they played better than Newburgh's defense. Newburgh's defense came out and looked like they didn't want to win. I mean, that's just how the energy looked from the sidelines. I mean, kids walking on the sidelines with their heads down, with their arms on their hips, sitting on the field. I mean, it's just it shows. And Middletown broke Newburgh's spirit today.
They absolutely did, and it started early after a big 11-minute drive to start the game for Newburgh. Only 3 points. You know what, Ethan? I mean, you talk about it. We talked about what it meant for this defense of Middletown. How dejecting is that from a Goldback's point of view? You came down and held the ball. You held it the whole first quarter.
Yeah, you had the ball the whole first quarter.
You had the ball the whole
yeah.
You held it the whole first quarter, and you only got 3 points out of that.
Yeah.
That was a dejecting moment right there to start the game, on top of the penalties that held them back during that quarter. I can't even call it a drive. It was a quarter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're so inflated coming off of a win like that last week, and then you sit here and you have an 11-minute drive, and you get 3 points out of it. That is – honestly, I mean, I understand it's high school sports, but that's embarrassing. As a coach, I mean, I sit there and I'm like, how did we just have 11 minutes? How did we call the exact plays for 11 minutes? And then once we got in the red zone, we couldn't do a single thing. I mean, that's just something you got to take back and you got to draw up at home and figure out what you did wrong. I mean, right there, I mean, you can't even blame that on the players. The players did what they had to do for those 11 minutes, and then it happened. It happened to be Middletown had an amazing, amazing red zone defense. I mean, that's what stopped them.
They did, but it was offense, the name of the game, putting up over 25 points today against that vaunted Goldbacks defense. And you know what? Let's talk about it. Offense is what won them the game. Ethan, who's our player of the game today? Who is our MVP?
Well, I mean, this is second time watching him play football, and the kid's electric. I'm going to give it to Calvin Perez. I mean, the way he played
100%.
today, that smash mouth football in that fourth quarter, he basically won Middletown that football game in the fourth quarter. I mean, he was given the ball, I think, probably 15-plus times. I mean, you're giving a guy the ball 15-plus times, you have to have a lot of trust in him and a lot of trust in what he's going to do. So, I mean, watching him do that and then what he did all game, I mean, just being electric all around the field, I mean, the kid deserves it. I mean, I know you probably feel the same way, right? I mean, the kid definitely deserves it.
No doubt. He deserves player of the game, and not even the main workhorse back on this team. We saw Jelani Graham step in and finish the job off there with that last touchdown as well. But, I mean, he did an amazing job just getting in there, that lower center of gravity. A great game plan here by the Middy Bears to spoil the plans on homecoming day of NFA, of the Newburgh Goldbacks, and we walked away with a 10-plus point win here today. Who would have thought? But I'll tell you what, we're happy to see it, and we're happy for all of the Fowler faithful that came down here, 84 East, traveled with this team. You could hear them roaring over there on the other side of the field as Middletown took victory formations with just 90 seconds left. But there you have it. It's our guy, Calvin Perez. He is the player of the game. Excellent game by the leader, the young leader, JoJo Royale at quarterback. Excellent game plan there by Coach Strenfield and the rest of this great coaching staff. We could see how hyped up they were after Steph Moncherry down the way. You heard Coach Lichtenstein come over. He was all excited. Steph Moncherry, an amazing game all around by the Middy Bears today. Gave them this very impressive win over the toughest team they're going to play all year.
I mean, I think Newburgh might be the toughest team in the section this year.
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
It's very, very close. I mean, this Newburgh team, they have so many weapons. They just didn't use them all today. I mean, you saw in the beginning of the game, number 4. I mean, Tajir Walker. He was moving, and
all day.
He was making plays, and they just didn't stick with that. And
you thought it was going to be his game today. You thought it was going to be the Tajir Walker show.
Especially after seeing him that first quarter. I mean, that first quarter he probably had, I'd probably say, over 60 yards rushing on
definitely.
four or five different carries.
He was the bulk of that 11-minute drive, absolutely. And even in the second quarter, but just didn't keep up with Tajir Walker. They got away from it, and they started to pass, and that's where Middletown found some luck here with a couple of turnovers. Excellent job. Yes.
2 by Kyle Scott. I mean, that's awesome. Kyle Scott, he's a great player. He's playing safety, too. I mean, he came down on a couple of those picks to get those picks. So, I mean, he took a safety job and made it a quarterback job.
Excellent job by Kyle Scott on defense. Excellent job by our player of the game today, Calvin Perez, and the rest of these Middy Bears. Going home happy today with a huge road victory over the biggest and baddest opponent here in Section 9 Class AA. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, with a final score of 28-17. Middletown takes this big road win here today in Newburgh. I can't say it enough because it's Newburgh week, and I love saying that we beat Newburgh. So there it is. The son of Middletown and me is overjoyed. I'm going home happy too. First of all, I want to say to you, Ethan, thank you so much for coming up and partnering with me and doing this game today. You were amazing. You did an excellent job. I love when the WDLC guys helped me out. Last week I had Tom Faggione. This week it's you, Ethan. I appreciate all of you guys. And before we get out of here, I want to say thank you again to our guy in studio, Jeff Anderson. And, of course, thank you to our great sponsors, Mid-City Transit, Steve Dodd Plumbing and Heating, Shortstop Deli, Rhinebeck Bank, and, of course, the Orange County Stop DWI and Traffic Safety Program. Don't forget, you can listen to the Hudson Valley's hometown station all week long. Kate Brandon in the morning. We're on wallradio.com, the app, 94.1, 105.7, and 106.3. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 11-point win. The Middy Bears take this one home. We thank you for joining us. Don't forget, next week we are back to Saturday games with an opponent. It's Walk Hill. We have them at home, and let's see what the rest of the schedule bodes for the Middy Bears. With that in mind, DJ McPherson, Ethan McElroy, Jeff Anderson in studio, we thank you for joining us for Middletown Football on Wall Radio. Get home safe. Thank you, Hudson Valley.